6 o'clock, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Titans training camp continues today at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center as the Titans continue their preparation for the Seattle Seahawks preseason game this Sunday and joint practice coming up on Friday. Today's practice is open to the fans and practice is from 10:15 to 12:15. Head coach Robert Saleh and select players all will speak to the media after practice. NFL news yesterday, the New York Giants, they're signing veteran running back Najee Harris to a one-year deal, and in a corresponding move, are releasing veteran wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. In Los Angeles, Chargers starting center Tyler Biadasz, whom they signed this offseason, was carted off with a leg injury in yesterday's joint practice with the 49ers after being rolled up on. Biadasz is being evaluated, but in the meantime, rookie second-round draft pick out of Florida, Jake Slaughter, is taking first-team reps. And coming up tonight, MLS's best Nashville Soccer Club returns to the pitch, fresh off a 4-1 win over Miami on Saturday. They're in New York tonight to take on the New York Red Bulls. Kickoff is at 6:30, and you can hear the match right here on The Zone with pregame starting at 6. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Break it easy once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning from Titans training camp on a gorgeous Wednesday in Nashville, Tennessee. Ramon and Will is on your radios, your smart devices, your 104.5 The Zone app and Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Which Titans are trending in the right or wrong direction so far during training camp? We've got a training camp stock report coming up for you in hour number 2. Wan'Dale Robinson spoke to the media the other day, had some interesting things to say about the new offense, about playing with Cam Ward. And Rhett Bryan joins us at 9 o'clock, as he does each and every Wednesday here on the show, the executive producer of Titans Radio. 615-737-1045 is our number. Alongside Ramon Foster, I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins back in Nashville. Kirby Allen Kirby here in person. Ramon, is your mic on?
I don't think so. Hey, Kirby, can I get a little noise, man?
I think your mic is on.
We were over here talking about trees.
Your mic is definitely on. You just can't hear yourself.
It's just and I don't want to touch a button is what I don't.
The audience can hear you.
The audience can hear me? Okay,
yes.
Awesome. I can't hear me. Yeah, man. There it is. Man with a plan at all times.
I'll do that for myself as well. And there we go. Now we're on the same plane. How are we doing? Good morning.
We're good, man. I enjoy our pre-show conversations you and I will have sometimes. It's better than the show sometimes, Will. And I was also enjoying mine with Kirby's over here, too. We were talking about trees this morning, man. You know, just some regular old yard trees is what we were speaking of this morning. I look across the Titans practice field, and across the river, there's one that's already, don't get me too hype, okay, that's already changing colors, okay? And I was just wondering if Kirk, because he's a very, wise guy, is like, hey, is that because his life cycle's done for this year? He's like, yeah, they're about to start changing color, which also means football.
Yeah, I was curious if that tree's leaves were changing colors because it's going to be fall soon or because it's burnt. Because it's been so hot here.
Ask the questions that I have too.
I don't know much about anything, so I have no idea.
Me either. It may be a little bit of both, but I do think it's a life cycle because there's a few that look the same that are up in the woods area across from the practice field that are about the same.
Well, it felt more like football season for me yesterday, getting to hang out with our friends at VolQuest. Great event from the Williamson County, Tennessee Alumni Chapter yesterday at the Franklin Theater. Was hanging out with Brent Hubbs, Austin Price, and Grant Ramey, who parachuted in, did a little bit of Vols talk with the people, and then parachuted right back out and launched back to Knoxville. But it feels like football season just talking through and doing an hour with them and so many listeners who were out there through the Tennessee Williamson County Alumni Chapter. Appreciate everybody who was there, came up and said hey, and talked a little bit of Vols with us, and I'm ready to go, Ramon.
Yeah.
I am all the way in on football, and nothing else. And today we're going to hear pads popping again for another Titans training camp practice.
Yeah, we will. With fans here as well today too, so that always adds a little extra oomph to it. But it's also the mindset. Listen, we get high school football starting tomorrow.
We sure do.
A big one. Down south is what I call it, south of Nashville. Isn't this one in Nashville? The BA and Baylor game?
Chattanooga.
Golly.
Chattanooga.
Really?
Well, we talked about this because we were going to go.
I was just
and
wishing
then they moved the kickoff back to 8 Eastern and 7 Central, and we got enough going on. I don't need to be getting home at
Yeah, that's very true.
12:30 a.m. or 1 a.m. for a game that I could watch on ESPN2 tomorrow night.
Well, I can't wait to watch it tomorrow, too. I also have a freshman game, too, that I'm looking forward to. Then
You
high
do?
school for the entire state kicks off this Friday, from my understanding as well. It's back. We're doing, like, game planning right now at the high school, so it's like
you're very
real.
into this game planning as well.
I can't
So
wait.
yesterday, you're like on huddle, like late at night, like Coach,
What?
we got him right here.
Yeah.
You were all the way in. my friend.
We were texting certain stuff in the group chat, just certain stuff that I'm identifying, and as far as what they do defensively and offensively too. So I'm interested to see what this is going to look like. Of course, when you play on local high school football, man, the competitive juices, they are amplified a little bit more too, and it's just the first one. I'm ready to see what all of training camp has looked like. The kids who, on all sides, and I say this across the state, the kids who think they are him, the ones that claim to be the best on their teams, I want to kind of see what that looks like, man. And even DGG this year, like, I want to see that.
Yeah, we've got a station happy hour tomorrow at like 6:30. This game starts at 7. In the words of Magic Johnson, I ain't going to be there. There's football on. And I might be Irish goodbying our station event like 15 minutes after it starts. Maybe it's not Irish goodbying if I just tell all of our radio audience at 6 a.m. the day before that I'm going to be doing this. But regardless, it'll be a quick night, and then we're on to watching football.
It is. But I enjoy the coaching component, though, man. It's a new story every single day. Do you hear me? Like, it is – a young athlete's got a new story every single day, and I think that's the fun part that coaches continually go back to it. One is the winning, too, helping curate these young athletes into being better athletes and young men as well. I enjoy that part. I probably have more non-football conversations than I do football at times, because when we're having football conversation, they're usually ticking me off, okay? I'm over having to over-explain stuff, break it down to them. Well, Coach, what if they – No, I'm telling you the answers right now. Listen to me. Why are you talking right now? Like, I'm that coach. Like, let me explain myself. Then I'll hear you out.
You sound like 3HL yesterday, hearing my take that the Jets game in Week 1 isn't a must-win for the Tennessee Titans.
I'm at practice.
I spent the whole show on it.
I missed all of this.
I thought Ron Slay was going to drive to my house and pull me out of my home and slap me upside the head.
No.
Because I have the audacity to say a Week 1 game in the NFL isn't a must-win. Crazy, right?
No, Will.
3 hours, Ramon.
He even
3
poured
hours.
water on himself.
He poured water on himself?
Yeah, he sure did.
No.
I didn't see that.
When they told him that CJ Chris Johnson was going to be his jersey retired on that day, he poured water on himself and did a ALS challenge in the moment.
Well, and then later he said that I didn't care about Chris Johnson, which, that's one thing we're not going to do. That is one thing we're not going to do, is doubt any sort of loyalty or respect I have for this franchise and for one of the legends of this franchise. You can disagree with me all you want on Week 1. That is one thing we are absolutely not going to do, is doubt my loyalty to the Tennessee Titans. Absolutely just not going to stand for that.
No, I'm with you there.
It was quite an overreaction yesterday on 3HL. Quite an overreaction.
3 hours of the Jets game.
It was pretty nonstop.
On August 18th.
My willingness to move forward as quickly as I did, Brent Doherty did not share that. He found a topic that could get him through an entire show and said, we're going to ride this thing out. There was no moving on yesterday, and unfortunately, I was the target of a lot of it. Yeah.
Savage just popped up in the chat. I gotta go back and hear this one, man. You said
it was good. I enjoyed it. It got me all the way from downtown all the way to downtown Franklin to hang out with the Volquest guys yesterday, but I have not budged 1% on my opinion, and I'm not going to. So
it was just a day.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, not even your day. It was just, this topic must live on.
It took on a life of its own by the end of yesterday afternoon.
He poured water on us.
I did not see that part. I was in the car for an hour of this after I got done with everything that I needed to do around 4 o'clock yesterday to get ready to call a soccer game tonight.
You want to hear what's cold? One, I hate I missed it, okay? Because I would have been all in the chat. I'd have been egging stuff on. I'd have poked back at – I love poking back at Mayor, just so that is a fun game of mine.
I know you do.
And I missed this, man. The other part that's hilarious to me is Savage is something else, okay? When he's in that mode, you just got to, Will, just let it happen, okay? Because it's the fight that he enjoys. If you push back, he pushed back harder. The other part is this. Savage is in the chat right now. He never will. This is why we love this time of the year. He never acts like this in basketball season. Do you hear me? I don't care what he says. I know he's a basketball player at heart, but his mind is all football. Do you hear me? He is all football.
He's wired like a football player.
He's wired like a football player. He never acts like this. Savage, basketball don't do you like this. Basketball don't have you acting out like this, Savage, and I'm glad.
He says no one disagreed either. Don Davenport disagreed. One of your own co-hosts was agreeing with everything I was saying.
It.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
It's exactly as Zach said. Like, there's no win and losses. It's just petty wins.
Not in
That's
August.
all it was.
Not when people get bored and just need something to talk about. Not in August.
3 hours. I'm tempted to go back because I can only imagine the callers. Did they have calls too, I'm guessing?
I assume so. I don't know. Again, I only heard an hour of it.
Yeah.
I had the audacity to, again, say that the Patriots won the AFC last year after losing in week 1, and then that didn't go over very well either. So it is what it is.
Oh, my God.
I'm not changing my opinion one iota, and neither is Ron Slade. And so we will move forward quickly this morning.
Savage, sure. I'm so proud of you, man. You a football player. You just so happened and didn't like getting hit that one time. It broke your wrist, and you took it more serious. You're a football player, man, and, like, I love you for that. You get me going when it comes to how we celebrate football. Hope to see you out here today, Savage. I need somebody to stand with.
I think I would hope to see him today, too, but I'm not sure.
Nah.
No,
you know how it goes. If he ain't messing with you, then he don't mess with you. So everybody have their time. Everybody have their time, man. I absolutely love that. Well, you survived. We survived, and we got more freaking football to talk about today and to watch it, Will. And you even had a cool event last night. I've gone to it. It's awesome, by the way.
It was really fun. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was a good night last night.
I think I did it with him one time down there in Franklin, man. It's just a good time. Again, nice kickoff to the season.
Mm-hmm.
We get another scrimmage this weekend to figure out who the Vols quarterback is going to be. I would hate being in that situation. I'm going to be real with you. I got anxiety as a Vols fan about this quarterback competition. Not in a bad way, but just in a false reality way, if that makes sense. And what I mean by false reality is we think of this George McIntyre Faison Brandon competition that will probably be settled after this weekend as the loser has to leave town. And I hate that we have to have that mindset because, again, I don't know George's intention or Faison's intention. But the issue that we have is opportunities will come from different schools because they will say, you're not playing, come play for us. And that could be Virginia. I mean, that could be Cincinnati. That could be Texas A&M. You know, like –
yeah.
It could be any school. We were shocked yesterday at the top 25 of returning quarterbacks to their teams.
Right. And the thing we talked about last night, too, is that whoever does lose the job still needs film to go wherever they may want to go next year.
Yeah.
Because teams in the Power Four, if you want to go be a starter for a team that could make the playoff, you got to play. But you've also got to prove that you're ready to play at that really high level. And somebody may take you and make you a starter and pay you a lot of money in the process. The whole narrative surrounding that battle, though, and what I like as a Tennessee fan, is that the cream appears to be rising to the top. If Faison Brandon is the starting quarterback for Tennessee against Furman, it's because he went out and won the job and took it. It's not necessarily that George was so bad that he lost it.
Right.
Like the narrative is not, well, this guy's making so many mistakes, so I guess we'll go with the freshman. No, like, everything I've heard, everything we talked about last night, everything that we've discussed with Austin Price and Brent Hubbs on this show is that Faison Brandon has made so many plays. He has put himself in the driver's seat to be able to start week 1 as a true freshman. George McIntyre's been good, too, and sounds like has been better in fall camp than he was in spring ball.
No doubt.
But Faison's just been so good. And then the mobility aspect, the true freshman aspect, the arm strength aspect, and piece to all of this is what gives him the possibility and probability at this point to start week 1.
But the one thing I'm more proud of, man, in this whole process, and I'm not sure we want to talk about or even give light to it, but the brand is back, though, Will. The Vols brand is back. We got ESPN cast members out here crashing out about us being in the top 25. Can you imagine that? I think it was Heather Dinich yesterday that was upset, or a couple days ago, upset that the Vols were shocked that the Vols are back in the top 25, or why are we in the top 20? And it just shows you that the brand is back. Like, and the other side, I think, is one thing that you've always brought up about hyper. Like, I'm really conditioning myself to this as well, because the top 10 team, most of them got either veteran quarterbacks coming back or the returning quarterbacks coming back. And Hyper's always been in a position in which he can always get a quarterback ready. Joey Aguilar, I think, was his best story. And right now, whether that's, the AP voters go off that reputation, or it's just the brand of the Vols having a good team still. And I think that's why when you mention, the LSU game, or, hey, can you get frisky against Texas? It's still a high recruited team. It's still got a lot of veteran parts on it as well. Seeing how we handle being without Arian Carter, if that still goes through, is my only concern at this point.
615-737-1045 is our number, live from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center for Titans training camp practice this morning. How big of a week is this Friday and Sunday for Cam Ward to show something better against a different opponent than he did last week? That plus NFL headlines from Titans training camp. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Ramon and Will, 1045 The Zone.
Get ready for one epic engagement ring event this weekend at Genesis Diamonds, man. You've been hearing about it. Now it's here. It is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Genesis has flown in the entire collection of both Tacori and Viraggio, the two most sought-after bridal designers in the world. Hundreds and hundreds of rings, all new styles, and during this once-a-year event, you can get special incentives and save up to $5,000. You know the names, too. Viraggio, handcrafted by true artisans and unmatched attention to detail. And Tacori, exquisite rings known for their hidden detail and timeless beauty. These are the finest American-made rings, distinctive, stylish, and handmade. Other jewelers are not even allowed to carry these premium brands, but I'm here to tell you, Genesis has them and will be showcasing the entire collections at this event. Genesis is also fully stocked with an all-new shipment of GIA-certified diamonds in every shape and size, direct from the cutters, so you can create the perfect ring from the ground up. Enjoy special event incentives, 0% interest financing up to $5,000 in savings. It's 3 days only, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Genesis Diamonds. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Wednesday morning on Ramon and Will. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, 615-737-1045, our number. And streaming live on 1045 The Zone TV. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Ramon, how big of a week is this for Cam Ward playing against a different uniform Friday and, of course, Sunday night in Nissan Stadium to bounce back after a shaky preseason debut in San Francisco?
I think as far as his development goes, it's pretty big. You want to, one, perform well all the time or at least take gradual steps. And we can, really compartmentalize that and categorize that by certain areas in which you see him take steps like, hey, he was good getting the ball out. Hey, there was no turnovers. Hey, there were no bad negative plays, et cetera, et cetera. But the entire body of work, man, needs to look like it's taking a step as well. Preseason is about that, as far as either these joint practices, and I would even go specifically the game where it actually somewhat counts. It's real refs, real regulations, real clock, real rules and repercussions that come behind it. You want to see this operation be better. You want to see their time, and especially if he's working with his starters, for the most part, be on the same page in a situation where, Seattle may be pushing it as well. We can place a simple game, but also look at it and say that was a good play. That was a real play. And I feel like it's going to be necessary for Cam to to take that step and say, hey, I'm on time with my wide receivers. We are efficient as an offense, and I look like I am taking the next quarterback step for him. And that might just be Will throwing the ball away when he's under duress a little bit or taking a sack if you have to as well. I do think it's important. That's the reason we have numerous games in the preseason and not one scrimmage and, hey, roll the ball out and kick the season off.
As concerning as last Thursday was for Cam Ward, what would you need to see to not feel stressed about him entering the season after the way last week went?
Better decisions with the ball. No, big game hunting. I think that was the play on the intentional ground, and it somewhat just kind of exposed that old ways, like you're still a rookie a little bit. And it's timing, making sure that the ball is out when the wide receivers are, snapping their heads coming out of the break. Is the ball going to be available to them? And I don't want to call them layups, but like if it's his feet, if it's his shoulders, or if it's his eyes, being able to make those quick outs. The ones that he ended up missing to Wandale, or maybe he was off schedule with Carnell coming out of his break and stuff like that. I kind of want to see those be made, even if, again, it's simple. I'm okay having a simple game plan when it boils down to us progressing, because at some point in time, defenses will get aggressive and realize, like, hey, they're just dinking and dunking on us, or they're keeping everything in front of us. Balancing that game plan out, if that is what he chooses to do, if Coach Dable asks him to do that, he also will have a real running game that can, balance that up a little bit to where it might open up later for him. I'm not sure how long they're going to go. If they go 20 to 30 snaps again.
Sounds like that's the plan.
Then, yeah, I kind of want to see progress be made in those departments. Specifically, Will, do we call them layups? Do we call them routine plays? It's important to get that monkey off your back.
Whatever you call them, there just needs to be a little bit more consistency.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm not sure if this even holds weight or whatever the case may be, but I know Greg Cosell ended up doing a podcast with Buck and coming on his show. He was like, that was the type of game they were trying to set him up to go 9 for 12. I'm not sure if that's true, however you view it, but if he does have 12 passes, being in the 9 to 10 range or 8 to 10 range ain't a bad goal. That's what I will say about that. Like, only completing 5 of the 11, okay, well, that's something we need to talk about and find the adjustments. And I think a good bit of it is, since Cam owned up to it, you gave us a reason to look forward to next week, and that is, can you slow it down? Are you still sped up? And if it does look like it does last week, then we need to start having either different approaches to practice or figure out why it speeds up a little bit more. And the biggest part of it may be the hits are real, trusting his offensive line.
Yeah, I think if you have another performance like last Thursday, that becomes the concern. Why are you not taking the good from the practice field to the preseason games? Yeah. Because at this point, Ramon, that's why I'm not overly concerned at this point. Right now, the outlier of training camp for Cam Ward is the preseason game. Mm-hmm. Aside from the preseason game, I think he's shown improvement. I think he's gotten better. I think he's been consistent, especially after the first week when he had some days with turnovers and maybe some inconsistencies and big game hunting in practice as well. But I think, be saying the same thing if this narrative was flipped too. Yeah. If he had a really good preseason game but was really struggling in practice, I think it'd be kind of the same stuff of like, okay, well, there's an outlier here. What does that outlier mean? Right now, the outlier is a poor performance in San Francisco mixed in with a lot of really good stuff at practice. And as we play more preseason games, I think we get a clearer picture of, is he struggling to take things to the field and to game settings, or was that just what we hope it was, a bad day at the office against San Francisco with a little bit of extra energy and jitters at the beginning of preseason? I don't know the answer to that yet, but I think we're going to find out.
Here's the other part, though, too. There are, from this fan base perspective, and even some of our friends in the media, there's a counterproductive side of Cam's productivity. That is, if he leaves the games or he goes into these practices and have a good practice, is it because the secondary is not as good as you need it to be too? So on both ends of this spectrum, Will, as far as the quarterback having a good game in stadium and the DBs also having a good game against an opposing team in a stadium, both of these are rocking in the same boat right now as far as I'm concerned too. Because, again, you say to me, and I think partially Cam's anxiety, or I guess sped up part of this, is because of the offensive line. Not in a bad way. He's just getting used to having this level of protection. I do think it's that. But then you look at some of the reports that come out, or some of the beat writers that are here at practice, they question, well, is it the secondary? Is the secondary good enough? Is Carnell better than we thought he was? Or is it the secondary that has these questions that need to be answered too? Those two sides of this preseason, I feel like, are the biggest storylines moving forward. Is how do they react in this Friday practice next week? Well, this Friday practice, the game on Sunday, and the next two big events they're going to have too, which is another joint practice and another game. The season is right around the corner, and when you start game planning or planning these games, everything gets sped up just a little bit more, because you do lightly at some point start incorporating week one's game plan into practices. So you kind of leave the development side out of it as well, and you got to figure out what are we, at least at the beginning portion of the season. But, yeah, watching practice today, I'm interested to see if Cam puts an emphasis on staying in the pocket, trying to find out how much time his OL is giving him. Because I can't imagine getting hit by a DN that you unexpectedly don't have on your radar. But I got a feeling it will kind of throw you off as much as he got hit last year. What was it,
55 sacks taken, led the NFL. Mm-hmm.
And not only just that, though, Cam had those 55 sacks and also lost the ball in those moments too. All of this, without giving too much of an excuse, probably plays a part into that stadium feel again. So being at home, crowd noise won't be crazy on the offensive side of this thing, and he's got another week to get right with these guys. So that is one caveat I'll give him as to what was the difference. Because in these practices, well, you've seen him. He's comfortable in the pocket.
Mm-hmm. He is.
But he also has on what color jersey?
He's got on a non-contact jersey. He knows he can't get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other NFL headlines this morning: Todd Monken, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, found himself, quote, emotionally hijacked during a practice early in training camp, and was very hot yesterday. Ended practice 10 minutes early, more than 10 minutes early, according to a report. Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com reports Monken kicked defensive end Benton Whitley off the field for making contact with quarterback Shedeur Sanders, and then did the same thing to defensive tackle Aiden Huntington for a hit on running back Quinshawn Judkins. Reportedly, the final straw came when defensive end Jared Verse grabbed Quinshawn Judkins and wound up knocking the Guardian cap off of his helmet. Mary Kay Cabot says Todd Monken had harsh words for his team. Reporters cannot share specifics of what they overheard before calling the practice session to a close.
One of us.
Sounds to me, Ramon, like offensive coordinator who is treating practice like an offensive coordinator. Because can you imagine that happening here? Hey, you thudded the offense a little bit too hard. Hey, we're going to end practice over that. I've just got a lot of red flags about the Todd Monken era already in Cleveland. Do you?
He's out here emotional like Bobby Boucher's
And then
coach,
practice
man.
15 minutes early because we touched the offense a little bit too much.
Defense calls coach to crash out is nuts to me. Hitting the quarterback, all right, is cool. But don't do that one. The other 2 licks that we're taking on a running back against also Jared Verse that you traded for and gave. Didn't he
I promise you they'll be all right.
Brother, this is why
I wanted to start with this because I knew you would have this reaction to the Cleveland Browns continuing to be dysfunctional.
That boy crashed out as a coach, man. I've never seen a coach lose his mind on his players like this. You know what? I'm taking my offense and I'm going home. Practice over. The defensive player's like, hell yeah, coach. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, well, watch. Well, tomorrow will hit them even harder.
It's like going to detention, right? And you got the cool assistant in there, the assistant coach. Coach, man, they put me in. Man, we'll just run you after practice. You got homework? Nah. Can I get on my computer? Yeah, I get on my computer all day long. Oh, my God.
I don't know.
It's like Coach Klein.
A lot of the stuff I've heard about Todd Monken makes me believe that he'd be a really good lieutenant and offensive coach. I'm not sure this guy's head coach material in the NFL. I'm not sure he ever was, Ramon.
What was the description? He said he had an emotional hijacking? Brother, this ain't an airplane. This isn't a cruise ship. These are real men in a sport called football where you might get hit a couple of times. Man, listen, I tell y'all all the time, it ain't what you know, is who you know sometimes.
He was so frustrated a week ago with his offense's lack of discipline and pre-snap penalties that he kicked his players off the field. Yeah. Said, unfortunately, we sent them back with their head coach being emotionally hijacked, which isn't a good thing. I told them this morning that can't happen. I should have just gone to a different cadence. Let us play out the drill. I was obviously frustrated. So, again, we're never too old to learn, right? Keep processing, getting better. And so that's one thing we sent him home with. So he basically apologized for being too emotional and angry at his team not being good. And then now here we are 1 week later, and he's ending practice because his defense was touching his offense a little bit too much.
Well, usually the spoiled little brat in the neighborhood usually always stays that, right? Like, you got every new pair of Jordans? Cool. Okay. Oh, you got all the new Pokemon? Cool. Okay. They either go way too far and get in trouble later in life, or they continually be that guy. I feel like Todd Monken is going to continually be that guy. Can you imagine if Saleh just blitz him this year? Like, can you imagine how he's going to act? I can't imagine them going 3 and out 2 times in a row.
Well, it sounds like Todd Monken just keeps throwing temper tantrums at Browns practices.
Oh, my God. It's like
he literally had to apologize for being over-emotional. Now here he is a week later ending practice early.
Being overly emotional again. Like, we'll have somebody say, can't touch the money, LOL. Touching Quinshawn is like tackling Saquon Barkley. I'm like, but he's a second-year guy.
Quinshawn Junkins ain't Saquon Barkley. Respectfully.
I'm not saying you're not right in his level of importance to the Cleveland Browns. Like, he's important to the Cleveland Browns, right? Him and Dylan Sampson.
Very important player.
Very important player.
But he ain't Saquon Barkley.
He did enough yet.
No.
I'm sorry. Who won Offensive Rookie? Was it Quinshawn last year? And won Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I think it was Ibuka, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Ibuka. Like, he didn't even win the big trophy last year.
Emeka Ibuka in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he didn't even win the big trophy last year. Like, I do believe he's got some dynamic playmaking in his.
Ted McMillan, sorry. Ted McMillan.
My God. Ted McMillan.
Yeah, you're right. That is your guy.
Right on him, okay? But a head coach should never act like that. I'm going to be real with you.
It would be really concerning if I was a Browns fan, and thank God I'm not.
Yeah. My guy said Cleveland would go as Quinshawn. I'm with you. But he's also either package his behind up and not let him practice in live drills. Clearly.
These things happen.
But here's the other part. There's a guy that's that's done more in this league than Quinshawn. I'm talking about Jared Verse. He's done way more in this league than him.
Absolutely. Absolutely he does.
Coach, get your emotions in check. Can you imagine, boy? You know how many issues teams have during the season?
I've heard some of this about Tom Monken, and this just kind of confirms some of the fears of conversations I've had with people. Like, I'm not sure this guy is NFL head coach material.
Again.
I think he's David Culley.
Yeah,
I think he's the guy
holdover.
before who ends up being the guy. I think he might be there for 1 year.
He's a holdover.
Legitimately, I think there is a world where Tom Monken is the head coach of the Browns for 1 season. I'll give him 2 tops, in my opinion.
That's why
calling my shot.
Defensive coordinator Greg Williams was upset he didn't get the job. Right?
Jim Schwartz. Greg Williams, old Titans.
Schwartz was upset. Like, this shows he knew that man wasn't ready for this job. And I'm with you. They either got somebody that they can manipulate or that they can easily fire within a year or so, Will. And I think the fan base will get it. Right now, the way he's managed these quarterbacks, the offensive line, and that's the other issue about this as well. Clearly, the OL is having major issues. That's the other storyline behind this.
Yeah, it's a totally new offensive line.
But, the fact that Shador got hit, I'm with it. Hands off the quarterback. But your running backs are getting tattooed like this as well. That's also numerous problems in one: an emotional coach, an offensive line they can't protect, and a defense that's kicking y'all butt daily so y'all can't get any good out of it.
Well, per the collective bargaining agreement rules, players can now be fined for fights in joint practices. There were multiple brawls at Saints-Cowboys practices yesterday as well.
Ugly.
Yeah, they're just going to start running these guys' pockets because the NFL does not want fights as the story of preseason.
I will say, the fights are as good of exposure as almost anything else, though, in the NFL, in training camp. I think it's almost adding nitrous to a motor. The motor's gonna run, but having fans discuss who was in on the fights, did anybody get hurt? It adds to the excitement of the season to me. And they can find them all they want to on this type of story, but my mindset is this: when it boils down to it, this is the game. These fights, this animosity is going to happen.
615-737-1045 is our number. Coming up, Tennessee made headlines yesterday as they add a jersey patch to a couple of uniforms. I'm here to tell you, though, why Tennessee is smart in the way that they are adding money with this commercialized part of basketball. We'll talk about why coming up next. It is a sign of the times that through the entire month of August, there's been a lot of news around jersey patches in college sports. Ramon Will continues on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, live from Titans training camp. So Tennessee is going to have a jersey sponsorship deal for men's and women's basketball, reaching a jersey patch sponsorship deal with Axel Logistics yesterday, Ramon.
Yeah.
Making the Vols and Lady Vols basketball the first programs to enter a jersey sponsorship deal. 5-year jersey patch sponsorship deal, $3 million per year. Industry sources with direct knowledge of the situation told VolQuest on Tuesday. Here's what I love, Ramon.
What you love?
They're orange and white. What a concept.
Mm-hmm.
Culver's has a jersey patch now on Wisconsin football jerseys. It's royal blue and white.
Still their logo, the company colors?
Progressive is now going to do Georgia on-field ads, which the irony is thick with that. Flo would be appalled at all of the heinous acts of driving that Georgia football players have committed over the past couple of years. But they're not going to compromise their brand and their colors and all of that to make money. They're going to get the right kind of deal, according to Danny White. And $3 million for someone that Knoxville-based, orange and white, doesn't really look out of place. Sign me up.
Me too. I love it. I love the fact that they kept the orange. It's the same on the color. Like that is a little off brand to have AT&T to have their blue whatever the swoops there are on jerseys and stuff because they want to protect what their brand is as well. And they got power and companies deal with these other sponsors when it comes down to their branding and they bite the bullet on it because they're out of towners or it's not as much love and they're giving them the money, so they got to have what they want as far as their branding as well. But I laughed at it though yesterday too, because as much as Danny White has done when it comes down to sponsorship, fundraising, breaking the budget, every year revenue budget, if you thought that Danny Smith lived by not all, just most, you're wrong. Like,
Danny Smith?
Danny White.
I thought you were just talking about somebody else.
My old special teams coach in Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Danny Smith. But if you thought Danny White was going to leave just a little bit behind, wrong. This, to me, is, I think, also a soft launch at some point where the Vols football team will have a patch as well.
I think that's coming at some point.
He's not leaving just a little bit behind. And here's the other part. If this keeps money from coming out of the fans' pocket, I think it helps. That $3 million right there that they're getting, goes to the athletes and to the program. But again, it doesn't come directly from your pockets as a patron. And that's the part of it that I like from Danny White. Say what you want to him about him. But I guarantee the university is loving what he's capable of doing when it comes down to the business side of sports.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in and take some, not all, in certain situations. But to compete in athletics, man, you got to get as much as you possibly can from these businesses that want to be a part of your winning ways or just your program in general.
Yeah.
The fact that Axel, you said, is a Knoxville-based company makes more sense, and I guarantee you, if he can get Pilot to buy in even more so for Pats for the football side of things, heck, at this point, you got David Sanders Jr. who's doing a commercial for Pilot in Knoxville.
That's true.
There will be a partnership at some point, Will. You just hope it's not Heinz ketchup where you got to put a red patch on the jersey. Right?
That's right.
Like that, isn't
That's
that
right.
the biggest discussion?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Heinz and orange would look good, though.
Well, and I think you also don't want to do something too early and have the price be set by you, and then everyone else goes above that, because this market is being determined in real time.
Yeah.
So if you did a football sponsorship patch deal tomorrow for, the basketball's $3 million, let's say $6 million a year, hypothetically, for Pilot to be the jersey sponsorship patch for Tennessee, and then Alabama turns around and has Buc-ee's for $10 million. Because they say, well, our brand is more valuable, then you're turning around and saying, well, crap, we evaluated this too low.
Yeah.
So it's not something you need to be in a hurry to do.
I agree.
Because you want to get top dollar if and when you do decide to go into business with someone like that. But Brent Hubbs made this point. We were talking about this yesterday, and he made a lot of these points. It's I think, a really good way to look at it. Tennessee has not compromised any of its identity for that chump change, it's not chump change. I mean, it's legitimate dollars and cents. You go in Neyland Stadium, there's no red.
No.
The Pilot logo is not sticking out like a sore thumb in a sea of orange and white of the branding of Neyland Stadium. Tennessee's not going to do that.
Right.
Danny White has been adamant about these things have got to make sense. These partnerships have to be exactly that. Partnerships. It has to make sense for both sides. It's not just a matter of taking a check and then distributing that to all the athletes and say, all right, come on down to Smokies after lunch and we're just going to hand out all this money. Like, it has to make sense for both sides.
No doubt it does. And Hubs even did a story on him in late July.
He did, yeah.
That's what you were just speaking about as well as Hub gave his commentary. He's like, all of our revenue buckets, none of them are staying stagnant. They're only going to continue to grow. And, like, that's just the game. And, like, here's
business.
It is. And that's what I was just going to say. Here's what I don't want to happen. I feel like in these situations where you have AD, schools, presidents, and just, marketing people that are getting and asking for more, this is on the backs of still what the players are capable of doing and how good or bad your university is as well. I would say that these business dealings are done over and around the athletes. Mm-hmm. And I feel like sometimes in these situations, the athletes get blamed because they're receiving some of the money behind it. Like, of that $3 million, the university is still going to get its cut. Like, there is a business that has to operate behind these deals being done. And I feel like the pressure, for the most part, publicly goes to these spoiled athletes. No, there are still ADs, coaches, presidents, and chancellors that are flying private because of these business deals being done too. And, I mean, that to me, I hope doesn't get lost in translation as if this is an athlete's push thing. No, this is a school business model that they're maximizing on the way they have in years past before. That's just my soapbox on just the optics of this thing.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. And look, I mean, I think it's also interesting they're taking an a la carte approach to this.
That's true.
LSU, Notre Dame, a bunch of schools have sold jersey patches for everyone. Mm-hmm. I think Tennessee will package a deal for football separate from basketball, which will be separate from baseball, which may be separate from all the Olympic sports. And, I think it's going to be interesting to see what that price looks like when it's all put together across every sport in its own individual deals. So it's coming for football. I mean, it has to, right? Like, you're not taking advantage of the full revenue opportunities available to you if you're not doing something to supplement roster costs, facility costs, all of these things. And, I don't really have a problem with it. Like, just win, man. Like,
seriously.
At this point, if jersey patches or something we're really getting all that tore up about, then we've got our priorities out of order.
I think
in my
he's
opinion.
even smarter about it as well, too, just based on the fact that he set the floor for anybody in Knoxville or that's a competitive Vols fan. Axel gave $3 million for basketball. What you do, double or triple that? Right? Like, that's the negotiation tactic also.
I mean, it might start at $10 million for football.
No, seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You got two teams for $3 million. We need a whole lot more for football because look at the difference in revenue brought in.
615-737-1045 is our number. Wan'Dale Robinson spoke to the media after Monday's practice and spoke about the biggest area where he's grown as an NFL wide receiver, which brings up an interesting dialogue about his connection with Cam Ward in one specific way to this offensive scheme. We'll explain what we mean by that. Coming up next as Hour 2 begins, Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, 104.5 The Zone.
7:02. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Titans training camp continues today at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center as the Titans continue their preparation for the Seattle Seahawks preseason game this Sunday and joint practice coming up on Friday. Today's practice is open to the fans, and practice is from 10:15 to 12:15. Head coach Robert Saleh and select players all will speak to the media coming up after practice. NFL news yesterday, the New York Giants are signing veteran running back Najee Harris to a one-year deal, and in a corresponding move, they're releasing veteran wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. In Los Angeles, the Chargers starting center Tyler Biadasz, whom they signed this offseason, was carted off with a leg injury in yesterday's joint practice with the 49ers after being rolled up on. Biadasz is being evaluated, but in the meantime, rookie second-round draft pick out of Florida, Jake Slaughter, is taking first-team reps. Coming up tonight, MLS's best Nashville Soccer Club returns to the pitch, fresh off a 4-1 win over Miami on Saturday. Tonight, they're in New York to take on the New York Red Bulls. Kickoff is at 6:30. You can hear the match right here on 104.5 The Zone with Will Bowling on the call. Pregame starts at 6 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2 of the program from Titans training camp. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling, 615-737-1045. We'll give you a little stock report of Titans training camp so far. I know the Buck Rising Show does it as well. We'd like to do this too.
Yeah, we do.
Stock up and stock down so far through camp. Couple of weeks in, the Seahawks coming to town on Friday. And Ramon, a big week for quarterback Cam Ward.
It is. Really good defense. Know that. Got a defensive-minded head coach. I wonder if both coaches and at least coaching staff will be exchanging pleasantries on what they want to see because, again, Sam Darnold's got to get his work as well, and you want to see this defense do well against him. At this point, probably one of the best just redemption stories in NFL that we've seen in a very long time. Is him, and you want to see can he continue that. It's one thing to do it one time. Can Sam Darnold do it again? So I kind of want to see this defense do well, but also Cam's test. Like, this is a guy, man, that needs a good showing this weekend. We'll have some familiarity with a guy, too. What's the linebacker's name that was here at one point in time?
Ernest Jones.
Ernest Jones is a savvy vet. Like, he's a savvy, smart guy when it comes to the game, but they got a lot of that on their defense as well. Plus, they have a rush. They have a secondary.
They got everything.
I was about to go through it, and I'm glad you said it like that. Like, they got a little bit ahead of everything, man, and it's going to be a great test. And it's Friday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And the open practice Friday, too?
I'm not sure on the fans
I wasn't
side,
sure if it was or not, but either way, I'm excited to see what this is going to look like this upcoming weekend. The question that I have, based on the performance.
Yes, open to fans.
It's open to fans, so it adds a little bit more, I guess.
It's been sold out for a while, but it is open to fans.
How will we come out of this judging it? Right? Like, at least in practice, you can say that it's probably as real as the game is going to go without Cam getting hit. I do want to see if the Seattle Seahawks are going to play their starters too, and I think that will end up being the real litmus test to what progress Cam and his offense has made.
Well, we know they will in practice. We know they'll play their starters in practice, and that's the maybe more important of the 2 days between joint practice and preseason for that reason. I doubt you're going to see too many Seahawks starters, in my opinion, on Sunday night.
On Sunday night, yeah. I like it, though, if we could get more of that.
I mean, if it was up to us, I'd love it, but I'm not sure that we're going to live that life.
Yeah. But so if that's the case.
Friday's a big day.
But Sunday in stadium, though, for Cam.
I mean, it's still a big day then, too, just to show that you can take from the practice field to a game setting what's been good.
And here's the thing. Cam's the focus point because nationally that's even been talked about even more. Again, I saw our friend Easton Freeze retweet somebody a second ago speaking on Cam and how this person was distraught on how Cam played. This is, and I think Jayhawk told us yesterday in studio, it's the Sunday game, and it is the only game on Sunday as well. So, and that's what I mean by it being somewhat of a national game, air quotation marks when I say that. There's one game on Sunday, and it's on Sunday night, and it's on Fox where everybody should be able to see it as well. This will be a lot of exposure for this team, and I'm hoping to go the right direction.
It was the Athletic Football Show with Dave Hellman and Robert Mays. There was a clip of them saying, "It freaked me out, if I'm being honest," discussing Cam Ward's preseason performance against the 49ers. The tweet you're referencing was from Easton Freeze yesterday that said, "At first I was kind of shocked by every national commentator kind of losing it over Cam's preseason outing. But when I ignore the context of the 22-hour practices I've seen him in this summer and put the blinders on for just those 3 series in San Francisco, I get it." And that's my point as well. If you put blinders on for everything that's happened at practice and you sat me down in front of a TV and said, all right, this is the only work that Cam Ward has done all offseason. These 3 series against the 49ers, enjoy, and clicked on the remote for me, I would be very spooked. Because that by itself doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. If you haven't been out here at practice, if you haven't been at OTAs and minicamp, which I think was more the ground floor. I think Cam has improved upon minicamp at OTAs where he wasn't particularly crisp.
Right.
He was fine, but he wasn't excelling like he has at times during training camp. Then, you would think, what the heck have they been working on? This doesn't look very good. But I don't think that's the way preseason and training camp should be evaluated. I think these practices, while not the end-all, be-all, still means something.
They do.
In the process of getting better. We can't view preseason week 1 as step 1. Step 1 happened in April. And this is not a linear pathway toward Cam getting better. He may not get better. I mean, this may just be who he is. I don't know yet. But I think anybody speaking with any degree of confidence saying that Cam is or isn't the guy based off of a preseason game is not keeping their powder dry.
No, but that's the fan reaction, though, too, right? And that's the people outside of this market that don't see these practices. That's the way they're going to react to it, which is –
and I get that.
And maybe I'm overplaying the Sunday night side of this just a little bit. But that is also, to your point, like, okay, if you and I both bring the 20 practices that he's had every single day. You said it a second ago, and I'm riding right there with you. You do want to see the practice field translate over to the game, whether that be against the 1s, 2s, or heck, even the 3s if Seattle chooses to put them out there. The optics need to the feelings leaving this game is, yes, a step was taken. Mm-hmm. That to me, I think, is the most important part of it. But here's the other side of it, too. I don't think that's just a fan side. I think the coaching staff want to see that.
I think so, too.
The coaching staff has to see that because now we're at a point, especially after this week, like week 3 used to be the big old dress rehearsal game that you get ready for where you play a half, right? They no longer have those because of the joint practices and because of the 3 preseason games. At some point, you got to start figuring out what's going to work for us during the season. Mm-hmm. Where's our comfort box? And I do mean that until you get the opportunity to grow more. But the beautiful part of it is this. You look at his history, he's always found ways to win games. The part of it that I think I've been saying for the most part is you want to see him play the quarterback game when it boils down to Cam. Will those steps be taken? And, again, I'm going to still blame his offensive line. PTSD is real, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, we've seen people have the yips, or we've seen people not be able to get out of their mind of things that used to happen. They got to give him more security in practice. Jeff, when he decides to turn it on, Jeffrey Simmons, when he decides to turn it on in practice, if he's getting home to camp, that doesn't help. They got to win more reps in practice as a team. They got to find themselves, his wide receivers got to get to a point in which they got to get open sooner, right? Whatever the case may be, it has to start happening more consistently in practice so that he can gain that trust of sitting in the pocket and knowing that the ball's got to be delivered on time as well. So it's a group effort, but the entire group needs to look good on Sunday night.
So Wan'Dale Robinson spoke to the media on Monday, and option routes came up again.
Again?
And it's, I think, a very valid thing to discuss. Wan'Dale Robinson brought it up. asked about where he has improved the most within this offense as an NFL wide receiver so far. And Wan'Dale Robinson, after Monday's practice, had this to say.
I mean, I would say just learning all the different option routes. I would say in college I didn't get to run as many of them. I was going a lot down the field, and then just getting to the league and knowing how to change up different routes, making routes look the same, just being able to play off of those routes and being able to do a lot of different things.
I think, Ramon, this is one area of the Titans offense that might take a little bit of time to click. It's also why I'm not going to declare anything in week one a must-win, because I think there is a process to this team understanding how all of the puzzle pieces fit together. I think it's going to be hard for Wan'Dale Robinson and Cam Ward to determine how option routes and rhythm and timing plays need to work without doing it in a live game setting. There's only so much routes on air you can do to learn how option routes are going to work, to where you are reading a defense and understanding, if this linebacker is here, Cam, I'm going to go here. If this safety is there, if I've got this leverage from the corner, it may be a stick, it may be a go, it may be a in or an out, like whatever those things are. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on wide receivers, but my question to you is, how long will it take for Wan'Dale Robinson and Cam Ward to get that timing down on the option route side of things that happens at the snap of a finger?
Dog, as you were talking and you were saying that, I was going to ask you, well, how long do we give them? We're both on the same page with that being the topic of conversation, is what is practice? If that's the case, like I do know coaches, the offensive staff talks to the defensive staff and ask of them, show us this on these particular plays. We have to have this on particular plays, right? That is the communication of you as a staff, as a team, building this team up. That's my only pushback on them saying that or having a little bit of grace. What are we practicing for? Are we not emphasizing this in the drill to where timing has to be a part of it? And I will agree. Things speed up just a little bit more in stadiums, right? But that's also part of the job. Knowing what your level of play is from the first snap to like the second series. Like, all right, now we're settled in. The thing about like this game is this. You can't wait too long to make these adjustments. You'll get behind because the other team is also making theirs, and in real time, you got to counter what they do. If they score, we got to respond. We can't have them go down and score, and it takes us 4 series to get some points up on the board. That changes the entire game plan in itself. So them getting on the same page with these option routes, or what my body language is, or when I'm supposed to break out of it, that's supposed to be happening now. That's the only push I give to this scenario because, again, there's pre-practice walkthroughs in the morning. There's the pre-practice in practice OTAs, like on shells that they do. Then there's post-practice work as well. And then there's tape. And then there's conversations that also have to happen. Like, I'm for the growth of a team saying we got to figure this out. We got to get our timing down. But there needs to be steps on one of those, like, or at least with 2 of those guys before the week ends and you take it into a stadium. Like, I'm not saying that there's no truth behind that. But your job is also, as quick as you possibly can, to expeditiously get this process down. And I think that falls on the players.
And I think it's why they're playing as many snaps as they are with starters in preseason games.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, they do have to. Yeah.
And that's hopefully the good part of it. Mm-hmm. And like I said, more than anything, it's not just those wide receivers and the quarterback. The O-line needs to be on their stuff too. Yeah. You got to give them time to know what it feels like and what it's supposed to look like as well. So it's all parties encompassing this, but the wide receivers and the quarterback, that is something that they can work on throughout the duration of practice. That's what's 7-on-7 as well.
Definitely. You know? Right. I mean, I just think that this team is a work in progress as the season goes. Last week, going into the Niners game, they had 49 players on the 91-man roster who were not here at the end of last season. I think it's reasonable to think that this team will get better as the season goes, considering the amount of new parts and pieces that you are putting together into a new system, a new roster, and a new rapport with your quarterback.
Heck, that number's gone up by 2 now with Matt Lauder and also Dominic Richardson.
Well, you had 2 guys, though, that you were –
Jalen Harrell's -1.
Yep. Yeah, 49. So 50 And then Kanik doesn't count as somebody who was here last year. So now 50 players that were not here at the end of last season who were on the 91.
Yeah. This is what camp is for.
It
and
is.
Again, I can acknowledge
it
it.
Is
We've
100%
said this
what
too.
it's for.
The team that walks out week 1 won't be the same team you hope as far as progress by the time you get to week 6, week 10, week 12. Like, it is a gradual progression, but, like, small wins have to happen in that moment, though, too. Like, we can't keep having and not that we are keep having this conversation, but timing is something that needs to be hashed out when you hit the offseason going to Miami to throw and, et cetera, and all through training camp.
Bobby hits us up on YouTube and says, when do we stop making excuses for the Titans not looking like a competent team and looking like they are struggling? Well, Bobby, how quickly do you expect them to no longer struggle? They won 6 games the last 2 years. What is a reasonable expectation to expect them to look competent and turn things around? I'm simply saying I think it's going to take the course of this whole season, perhaps, for them to get to the end of the year and be better from where they are right now. I think on the other side, it's unreasonable to expect them to just snap the fingers, bring in Carnell Tate, sign a bunch of free agents, and all of a sudden you're competing to be in the playoffs again. That's just, unfortunately, the way I see it, not the way it works.
Same. Some of the old issues are still there.
Yeah, this is a process. This is a process. Not one preseason game, a week 1 game, September, October. Like, none of that on its own defines this football team. We will look at the end of this season and see where they made good decisions and bad decisions. But I know there is not a lot of patience left for the fan base. I totally get it. But this is a process. It has to be.
I think this week may even be more humbling. Like, you'll see with what Seattle's bringing in, the difference between, like, a world championship team and a team that's trying to build itself back up to get to 500. Right? Like, that, to me, I think, and just I've been looking at their roster, just trying to get familiar with a lot of things that a lot of pieces that they have on there. And they got so much depth. Like, their guard. I decided to look at the OL real quick, Will. Like, their guard depth that they have, they got guys on this team who were higher draft picks in years past that are backups. Like, I'm looking at Christian Haynes right now.
It's a really balanced team, top to bottom.
Very balanced.
They don't have a weakness.
Like,
they're the number 8 scoring, or the number 8 total offense, the number 6 total defense. They were 3rd in points scored and 1st in points allowed last year.
Like,
they don't have a glaring weakness.
They played a guy in Gray Zabel last year that started in the Super Bowl. Like, that level of experience isn't on this team. Like, that's a second-year guy that played a ton for them. Christian Haynes is on this. I'm just going through their draft picks and guys that's played. Anthony Bradford's on this team. Like, they got veteran dudes at each level. Did you know DeMarcus Lawrence is still on this team?
Yeah, I know.
Like that's what you're trying to grow yourself. Like, John Franklin Myers does a lot for you. Cordell Flott, you hope, does a lot for you. Alante does a lot for you. And these young draft picks, like, if you're telling me what's happened in the last 2 years with the Titans is going to help you build up to this level of roster, then, of course, like, Seahawks also went and got a guy and trusted the quarterback in Sam Darnold, right? At the running back position, they had a guy that went on to get a major contract from another world championship caliber team in the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, there's a lot that they have that you're hoping goes right for this team moving forward. So giving excuses is one thing, but the reality of it is, Will, is you still are, as the coaches have been relaying, at the ground floor.
You were building, and you're about to play a finished product and the finished product in the NFL this week.
Yeah.
Zach Charbonnet, their new running back, with Kenneth Walker out, to answer that question in the F&M Bank chat as well.
You know Velus Jones is now a running back?
I did not, but I think he's probably not going to make that team if he is.
Super Bowl champ now.
Is he?
Yeah, he won.
Was he there last year?
Yeah, he was. I think he had a kick
Yeah.
return for him last year as well in the Super Bowl. Like, yeah. So
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't think
Pretty
he
sure
was
about that.
he was up very much last year.
Yeah, pretty sure he was in on that
Interesting.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was shocking to me that he was there.
He only played in 3 games last year. Had 32 rushing yards
Yeah.
a season ago. He did not play in the Super Bowl.
He didn't play the Super Bowl?
He had 6 carries for 10 yards against San Francisco, but that was it.
Boy played a part.
in a 41-6 win over the San Francisco 49ers.
Hell yeah,
A game we
Bayless.
were really looking forward to, and then the saxophones got louder. 615-737-1045. Ramon's going to go through the roster and continue to be impressed with how deep the Seahawks are. And we move forward into a Titans stock report of who is trending through camp so far after this. What's up? It's Will Bowling. Are you dealing with flickering lights, faulty outlets, or a circuit that won't stay on at home? Lee Company has your back. Lee Company's award-winning team of electricians handle it all, from routine repairs and fixture upgrades to whole home generators. Available 24/7, keep your home efficient and safe by contacting Lee Company. Online at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com for professional electrical service for the pros that have been in business for over 80 years in Middle Tennessee. Lee Company's been trusted since 1944 with 16 community locations in Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and Georgia. They've got over 1,800 team members and are available 24/7, ready to help you at a moment's notice. So make sure everything is working around the house the way that it is supposed to. Those flickering lights, those faulty outlets, that circuit that won't stay on. You've been putting it off. You've had the sticky note on the fridge. Let this be the reminder to get Lee Company out there to fix things for you. Head online to leecompany.com for their professional electrical service. That's Lee Company, all you need. If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to. You can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Hey, it's Will Bowling. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process, and listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. So call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. That's online at loanpronto.com. See how much you can get right now at 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or online at loanpronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Ramon Will rolls on. Hour number 2 from Titans training camp, live from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. I stand corrected. He did not record any stats, but Velus Jones, I believe, downed a punt in the Super Bowl. So well done by you.
I know it went off.
You've got your eye on Tennessee alumni clearly better than I do.
I just remember him being active for that game. And I'm thinking to myself, Velus going to mess around and get a ring.
Called up from the practice squad that week. So well done by you.
I thought so, man. Go Vols.
Feels weird being wrong. It's never happened before.
Keep talking.
For those of you who are going to take that seriously, I'm joking. I promise you I am joking.
That's what I was going to say. Keep talking. It happens.
Stock up or stock down, Ramon Foster? Who over the last week has changed their stock on the Tennessee Titans roster? Would you like to start with stock down or stock up so far?
Man, let's pander a little bit. Let's go to stock down, man. Nobody's expecting anything good anyway, Will. Might as well lean in, man.
Whose stock is down at this point of camp?
I got a list if you want.
I would love your
list. You want me to go
list.
through the entire list and
Absolutely.
then we go through it from
Let's
there?
do it.
Stock down, Miss Trubisky injury doesn't help him much at all. I don't think there's a whole lot to it, but still,
I'll be
down.
interested to see if he's out here again today after the, according to Robert Saleh, right bicep injury during practice on Monday.
He needs it, you know what I'm saying, just to work because, again, injuries happen at any position, and you got to have your backup guy ready to go. Khalil Mullings, almost a wanted poster at this point. I know he's got the hip pointer, but, brother, stock down.
I think it's becoming harder and harder to see him on the 53-man roster.
Saxophones are starting to be tuned. Okay.
Important weeks ahead for him, for sure.
I'll go through the rest and we can go that way. Austin Deculus, Cordell Fly, Cordell Volson, and Jackson Slater.
I think it's a good list. I have no arguments.
No pushback?
I have no pushback. The Cordell Volson thing, I think, is frustrating. Maybe seen as a starter stopgap to get you through the first couple of weeks. That way you didn't have to play Fernando Carmona right away if you didn't want to. Maybe not all because of Olsen, but partly because of Carmona. At this point, Ramon, I'm going to be pretty surprised if it's anybody but Fernando Carmona starting at right guard when the Titans host the Jets.
Same. And I feel like looking at Cordell Volson's situation as well, coming off a year, didn't play. He's essentially in the same boat as the draft pick is Fernando Carmona, man. And, again, his showing in San Francisco, when you're a veteran player, and I put a lot of pressure on the vets, okay?
I think for good reason, too.
They know this, right? Like, both of these dudes have played in NFL games. I look at him and Austin Deculus, like, they've played in these games. They're supposed to be the standard for the second and third group. That's my expectations, okay, when it comes down to, hey, you're fighting for a spot. You've been starters in this league. You know how this league and you know how to compete. You can't be getting rolled back just because you're playing with younger, inexperienced guys. No, I'm the highlight of this thing. Like, and for those two guys – they were the black eyes of their units, right? Like, leaving that game, and I think even if you look at some of the practice reps from time to time, like, you can't be that when it matters just a little bit more. How am I supposed to trust you to go into a stadium when you've done everything right in practice, but you don't capitalize on it in moments where you're playing against 2s and 3s as well?
Well, and I think even so much so that you started to see Andre James play a little bit at guard and not just center.
Yes.
And that versatility may end up being important for the roster gymnastics at the end of this thing for a backup in Andre James who could play multiple positions compared to Volson, who is a veteran former starter who struggled against backups when Will Levis was in the football game.
And that's still, like, the Andre James part of this. Yeah. Remember when he got signed? It's like, wait a minute.
Like, he's played. That's not just a body. It's not an empty chair, as Coach Mack would have said.
Like, you're saying as far as, like, we're saying, like, the saxophone is starting to get tuned on Khalil Mullings, like, Jackson Slater, fight. Give me, not literally fight in practice, but, like, give us something to be hopeful about as well. Because, again, when Andre James goes to guard, that's not just for, hey, we need bodies. That is also for you, Jackson Slater. At some point, the promise conversation is just that. Like, I go to the mailbox every day and there's no package in there for me, but if you telling me it's on the way, then I'm going to start losing faith in the fact that my package isn't showing up in the mailbox. And I feel like he's got to start delivering as well. Like, this is a new staff for him. And I don't know, of course, right, wasn't it Borgonzi a part of the team that drafted Slater? There's no promise for a guy that's beyond, I feel like, the 3rd or 4th round. As a 6th-round draft pick, you got to bring it.
So A to Z Sports this morning did their first 53-man roster projection with Easton Freeze doing his first kind of stab at this. He had 9 offensive linemen on the roster. Dan Moore, Peter Skronsky, Austin Schlottman, Fernando Carmona, J.C. Latham.
Yep.
Backups being Pat Coogan,
Yeah.
Jackson Slater, Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, and Andre James. And that being it. 9 guys.
I'm missing a guard somewhere.
Well, I mean, Andre James is a guard,
Yeah.
and so is Slater.
He still got Slater on it?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think it's too early to give up on Jackson Slater.
I'm not.
And they may have had the vision in mind in that room that this is a long-term swing rotational player. As late as he was picked, I mean, that you can pick guys that you know are probably going to be backups for their first 3-4 years on day 3.
Yeah, nobody else. I'll give credit to somebody who hadn't been brought up. Drew Moss had a real bad play when he first got in the game, number 67 for the Titans, second-year guy to Colorado State. But he has some good pulls and some good plays after that moment as well. So
it feels like he's the third guy
yeah.
at tackle after the starting 5. And I know we're getting really in the weeds here. We're talking about the 5th tackle on the roster. But as many tackles as this franchise has had to play over the past couple of years when guys struggle or get hurt, I mean, it is still worth at least talking.
It is, most definitely. Slater, I'm side-eyeing a little bit. I need to see a bigger week out of him this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that I'm looking at him sideways as if there's a better option out there. He might get picked over as far as the waiver wire goes, man. And he has the potential, but it's a matter of him also. He's falling back, I feel like, the same way that Cordell Volson has.
Stock up. Who's trending in the right direction?
Stock up for me is going to
Can I start with one real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody's stock has risen more in the last week than Joey Sly. Absolutely nobody. Joey Sly has put himself in Sharpie again as this team's kicker. He has not missed a kick since one bad practice.
I'm going to give a demerit to myself because I ain't even put him on my list, and that's on
Oh,
me.
that's okay.
Right.
Kickers are people, too.
I got to tell myself that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
I
you're
think
right.
Joey Sly has raised his stock significantly
No doubt
over
about
the
it.
last week. Who else you got?
James Williams,
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair. I'd still put him as stock up.
Jermaine Johnson.
Really?
Yes.
Why Jermaine?
His ability to disrupt has been consistent from day one,
think it's
even
fair.
in training camp. And I feel like he's taken another step this week from the day that we were able to see on Monday as well. Jermaine Johnson, to me, has proven that his Achilles is he don't even think about it no more. I like the way he's getting off on the ball, too, and even in the small sample size. Fernando Carmona, obviously.
Yeah.
Alec Ayumanor, still continually.
Continues to just stack days here on the practice field, for sure.
And minus the game, I still think you're seeing even the contested hit that he took on Monday, Carnell Tate, I think is still moving in the right direction. Up.
He made a great catch the other day. I mean, that catch alone raises your stock just a little bit.
Yes, it does. I want to see him get more in the game, but it's got to come to him.
Gunnar Helm with a long play, big play against San Francisco?
I would say Gunnar Helm.
We get a lot of questions about Gunnar, and I think fans really like him, and for good reason, right? He showed some
flash.
promise last year. I know Scoob hit us up earlier and said, how big of a role can he have after that bubble screen? I'll be honest, I've been a little bit more skeptical about his total volume of catches and yards on this team because I just don't think Brian Daboll uses tight ends that much
A lot,
in the
yeah.
pass game.
They
This is more of an 11 personnel team still, more so than it is 12 personnel. But when you are in 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, it's more for those tight ends to block and be short yardage, red zone, field is condensed, 3rd and 4 type of scenarios. I'm not sure Gunnar Helm sniffs 1,000 yards or even 800 yards this year. And again, you could have 6-7 touchdowns.
Absolutely.
And still have a big impact on this game. Yards aren't the end-all, be-all. But I also think fans need to maybe temper their expectations a little bit on what his role is going to look like.
It won't look like the coach with Tyler Warren type of
No,
situation.
and that's not a jab at Gunnar. I think Gunner's a really good football player who's going to have a big impact. I'm not sure that he's the kind of guy that's going to have 100-yard games consistently.
It's short game with the tight ends on this one. Yeah, you're not going to see them down the field or running 12-yard outs and stuff like that. It is short and get what you can behind it to move the chains. can I go too far just a little bit with
You
this?
can go wherever you want to.
I slightly want to just mash the gas a little bit to see who's up in the neighborhood, okay?
Okay.
I kind of want to put Will Levis on this list.
Of stock up?
Yeah.
Why's that?
Thought he had a good practice on Monday. I think the more he uses his legs, which he showed in the game, is a positive for him. And I think the fact that the idea of Mitch Trubisky being out with a better offensive line and weapon, Will Levis has the ability. I thought he had a run on Monday that was a real running touchdown. He hit the corner, and he turned the burners on.
I can get behind that.
I'm saying it's bubbling now. I ain't saying it's up yet, but I'm saying it's bubbling of guys that have an opportunity. I feel like Will Levis can take a big step this week if he does more of what he did this past weekend.
Is there a world where he's the second quarterback off the bench, or maybe first quarterback off the bench is the better way to describe it, second quarterback at the game in one of these last 2 preseason games to give him more opportunities with a better pocket?
It could happen this week. It could.
I just think that Mitch Trubisky has played so much in this system. I wouldn't be mad at them saying, after Cam's done, Mitch, you stay over here, even if he's just a little banged up. Let's give Will Levis the second and third quarters.
I put Mitch's stock down just based on the fact that this bicep injury.
And we'll see the severity of that today if he's out
absolutely.
here and if Robert Saleh speaks on it after the practice.
Quarterbacks are like pitchers, though. They have to know.
Well, especially if it's throwing arm.
And the smart part that he did, he immediately felt it and told a trainer.
He did, right.
Maybe he got ahead of it. Maybe it's just a bruise. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if he missed, a numerous amount of days, you got to consider, okay, well, what is the health of the backup quarterback on this team? Mm-hmm. That's my only, I guess, concern, and that's the reason I'm kind of pushing Will Levis to I'm starting to see some bubbles for him as far as the stock going up a little bit. You got to get a guy a shot, and this might be, through injury, his best shot to get something going in the right direction for him. Well, they don't have to give him a shot.
No, right. But there is maybe an opportunity here with Trubisky's bicep injury to not risk that.
Yeah.
And in turn give Will Levis an even bigger platform to showcase his skills. And if you decided to trade him, maybe get something in return. Or, I mean, let's be honest, he could show and prove well enough that he is capable of being the backup if Trubisky does have a longer-term injury.
Can we say this?
There's a lot we don't know yet.
Do we agree on this when it comes down to Will Levis? The run-first version of him is the best version?
Yes. 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 I think so.
If you can be smart about how you use him.
And when you run.
And yes.
Because it's all mental for him.
Let him do the Iron Man thing. Let him be He-Man. Within reason, because he is a quarterback. But if you're telling me the Green Bay Packers can craft a game plan for Malik Willis, or you find Miami at the time try to find a offense for Tua, right? You can live in the world that says there is a team, and as a coaching staff, craft a game plan for Will Levis that puts him in a Taysom Hill-like role. And maybe it takes his nerves down a little bit.
That'd be great.
Let me run, get this hit out the way, and now I'm a threat. So now I have the ability as a quarterback to have you with your feet in the ground because you don't know what I'm going to do.
If Mitch Trubisky is hurt, again, purely hypothetical because we have no info on this, and Robert Saleh appeared to be pretty optimistic about it the other day, I'm willing to let Will Levis stick around and be QB2.
Nothing's hurt. This is last year on this contract anyway.
Yeah, I agree. 615-737-1045 is our number. Nashville SC plays tonight. Little midweek match day for the top-ranked team in MLS. We'll tell you about it and preview it that you can hear right here on The Zone tonight. Coming up next.
A day at the spa, the perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, or any occasion. Lavish and luxurious, yet affordable. A grand gesture, yet simple for you. The gift card from A Moment's Peace. Give her the gift she won't buy herself. An escape, a bit of luxury. Something special that shows more than just words. A gift from A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa in Cool Springs across I-65 from Galleria Mall. Call 615-224-0770 or go online at amomentspeace.com anytime.
What's happening, good people? Let me go on and tell you while you're walking into your weekend what you need to be looking for. That is a truck. Yeah, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They're going to take care of you. All you got to do is slide in there and let them know, hey, man, Big Slay told me. And they will look out for you. Go in there and holler at my guys, Trey, Matt. They're going to be right there to help you walk through the process of going to get your truck. And guess what? It's nothing that's going to be pressure, no high pressure, just low pressure approach, no gimmicks, no pushy sales tactics. That's not what they're about. They're about getting the job done and getting you comfortable and understanding exactly what you're getting into. It's a one-stop shop. If you need service, Mid-10 Ford, they got you covered. They are the ones you need to be looking for. When it comes to the right vehicle, they got you covered. Even a body shop, service, financing, sales, they got it, all of that. All you got to do is go to 1319 Foster Avenue. Visit mid10fordtrucks.com.
Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone. Wrapping up the first half of the show. The Titans are making a very interesting roster move that was just reported a few minutes ago that we will tell you about coming up in 10 minutes. One that surprises me a little bit. 615-737-1045. Justin, do we still have callers on the line?
They dropped off.
Okay. I just saw your text just now, so apologies to callers.
Shut up more.
If you guys want to hop back in, 615-737-1045. We'll get back to you in just a moment. Wanted to talk a little NSC because Nashville SC is 5 points clear at the top of the MLS table, Ramon. They are in first with 15 games left. And tonight, they are in Harrison, New Jersey, Sports Illustrated Stadium to take on the New York Red Bulls. A 3-match week for NSC, who then returns home this Saturday to host the Columbus Crew. NashvilleSC.com. Go get your tickets. Come see the best team in Major League Soccer. The night before, the Titans take on the Seahawks on Sunday night.
Absolutely.
NSC has one defeat, Ramon, in their last 13 league games. They take the league's third best attack in terms of goals scored with 39 this year on the road to a New York side that has allowed the third most goals in MLS so far this year. Red Bulls are coached by former U.S. midfielder Michael Bradley, whose dad, Bob Bradley, was also the manager of the U.S. men's national team. Michael led Red Bulls to the MLS Next Pro title a year ago, the second division in Major League Soccer. Huntsville City is Nashville's affiliate there. They have one shutout all season. That's worst in MLS. That was February 28th against New England. Two other teams are tied with them as only having one clean sheet shutout this season in Major League Soccer. I like this matchup a lot for Nashville SC. Red Bulls are a team that attacks with their fullbacks. Their left back and their right back are basically wingers who are part-time defenders, and they get forward. I think there's opportunities for Nashville's wingers to have success in this game. I think there is a lot of excitement right now around Elias Saad, who had 2 assists on Saturday night against Inter Miami. And Nashville this season has had their 3 designated players in the starting lineup 5 times.
Wow.
That's Hani Mukhtar, Sam Surridge, and Christian Espinoza. For injuries, for CONCACAF Champions Cup, for a bunch of reasons. They've only started 5 games together, including last Saturday. Nashville has scored 16 goals in those 5 games when those 3 players are in the starting lineup together. So we'll see what that looks like tonight on a quick turnaround from Saturday, but with full focus on MLS and Ramon, nothing else other than injuries, and knock on wood, we don't have any more of those this season. With nothing else to focus on other than MLS, it is 15 games left, sprint to the finish, stay healthy, put up as many points as you can with your best lineup as much as you can in there every single game. This team is only going to get better.
Will Nashville FC have to apologize to Jaden Daniels if they do get 5 goals?
Did you see their tweet about that over the weekend?
I did see that. Out of respect.
Said, out of respect for Jaden Daniels, we only scored 4 goals against Inter Miami over the weekend.
I did see that, man. And when you're telling me what the Red Bulls have as far as their inability to stop or have a clean sheet, like that's what immediately I think of. This is a very aggressive team in Nashville SC, and if you give them opportunities to go score, they do. Like, and you mentioned also just having their big 3 back out there. Like, that in itself is an appetizing night for a team that's on a heater right now. Well, that to me is – but, again, in these types of moments where it's really, really good team against a bad team, you look to them and say this is where they usually step up. So I can see it being a 1-0 dub, you know what I'm saying, or something low scoring because bad teams always rise to the occasion for really good teams.
Right.
That's
right. And Red Bulls have been good against good teams. They beat Chicago earlier this year, one of 2 teams to best Nashville this season in MLS play. Like, they are certainly capable, and they're a really young team.
Yeah.
Average age of their starting lineup is 24 years old. New York Red Bulls. It is the youngest team in MLS. 2 young U.S. players, Julian Hall and Audrey Mametti. 2 names to know for the future of U.S. men's national team. 2 players with U.S. eligibility. Hall could also play for Poland. He's not declared yet which way he's going to go, but he's their leading scorer at 18 years old with 9 goals and 5 assists this year.
So that's what I was going to ask. As young as that team is, like, is this just the phase that they're in, or will they allow this Red Bulls team to kind of grow up a little bit?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think Major League Soccer teams are really smart to lean into youth movements and lean into young developing American talent. Because it's good business, and you can recuperate transfer fees for those players that you can then reinvest into the squad with other European players, with other young South American players from all over the world. So it's good business for you. But secondly, it's just, I think, a smart way to play soccer with American players that have grown up in your system, who know what's expected of them, who have played your style of play since they were teenagers. And that's the thing that's made Red Bull such a good opponent and such a good team over the years. They've played the same style from their youth teams to their second team to their first team. It's nicknamed energy drink soccer. They press and they press and they press and they press. And typically they don't have very much possession, but they're consistent in the way that they play. This team is a little bit different. Michael Bradley has come in with some new ideas. They've modernized the Red Bull way a little bit to not just be so much like a bunch of car crashes happening for 90 minutes. Because that's literally the way they would play. They would just kick the ball long and sprint and try to suffocate you in possession every single time. A little bit different now. They're okay with having the ball, which presents some different challenges. But I think it's a Red Bull team with a really high ceiling. It's a really big test. It's a hard match for NSC. Nashville's never won at Sports Illustrated Stadium in New Jersey in 4 trips against Red Bulls. It's a team with a really high ceiling. I think for Red Bulls, though, when you're that young, it's also a team with a really low floor. And so depending on the mistakes they make at the back, they're very aggressive in getting their defenders forward. That could create some opportunities for Nashville on the counterattack. Going to be a really interesting test. I mentioned all these good stats for NSC. This is still a really big challenge against New York Red Bulls. And we'll see what the lineup looks like tonight. I'm not sure how B.J. Callahan will put it all together coming off a quick turnaround. Typically, you would see squads rotated, but maybe he does stay with the guys who started the match on Saturday and try to get through this. But big challenge, opponent that has a lot of potential. But Nashville certainly will feel like they need to go there and get 3 points.
Do they go up the night before as well?
Okay. Yeah, they travel day before, and then they'll come back and have a day of training Friday, and then they'll host Columbus on Saturday with a really quick turnaround. It is really quick.
I wonder what their rehab
really
is
quick.
like.
A lot of rest and recovery and good nutrition and a lot of data as well from all the tracking devices they have. I mean, I don't know how anybody over there gets any sleep on a 3-match week.
Somebody
like
just said you're convinced. Ali, yeah, you should say. Willis convinced me to head to the game tonight.
Hey, come on, Ali.
He is in New York now.
I love it. I love it. And we have another comment saying, always cracks me up for Ramon to act interested when we'll talk soccer. I mean, I believe you are legitimately interested.
You should just let them talk on that one. Like I am. I've been to a few games now at this point as well. So I'm in on it.
6 o'clock pregame, 6:30 the kick. I will be on the call for that one tonight. Going to do the game Saturday as well. So fun and busy week talking about ball. I love it. 615-737-1045 is our number. Coming up, a roster move for the Tennessee Titans that surprises me. We'll talk about it next.
You know what you need for your tailgate? How about a Ford F-150? And right now, it's F-150 season at Two Rivers Ford. You can lock in 2.9% financing for up to 84 months on a brand new 2026 F-150, and you choose the terms. Plus, $1,500 bonus cash and a 2-year complimentary maintenance plan. That's a 2.9% APR, $1,500, and a 2-year maintenance plan on your new F-150. And here's the thing. When you do business with Two Rivers Ford, you can rest assured you're doing business with a locally owned company that's upfront and honest. The price that you see online is always the price that you pay. You won't find any add-on accessories or surprises that increase the price when you get to the dealership. So go ahead, put an F-150 in your driveway. Go see the non-commissioned sales team at Two Rivers Ford. The family-owned for 3 generations. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
8:04. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Titans news about 20 minutes ago per Jordan Schultz. The Titans are signing veteran running back and special teamer Dearness Johnson to a one-year contract. Johnson, in 7 seasons between the Browns, Jaguars, Cardinals, and Patriots, has 1,014 career rushing yards, 53 catches for 465 receiving yards, and can contribute as a returner as he has over 900 career return yards. Titans training camp continues today at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center as the Titans continue their preparation for the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday in their preseason game number 2. Joint practice is coming up on Friday. Today's practice is open to the fans, and practice from 10:15 to 12:15. And head coach Robert Saleh, as well as select players, will speak to the media after practice. Coming up tonight, MLS's best Nashville Soccer Club returns to the pitch, fresh off a 4-1 win over Inter Miami on Saturday. Tonight, they're in New York to take on the Red Bulls. Kickoff at 6:30. You can hear the match, of course, right here on 104.5 The Zone, with pregame starting at 6 o'clock. Will Bowling has got you covered on the call. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramon Will at 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live from Titans training camp, the Vanderbilt Health Football Center, where we talk to you this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday. 615-737-1045 is our number. Show's flying by today.
Yeah, it is.
Even the breaks, as we're talking about other stuff, and I'm like, all right, we got to go back to work now.
We're talking about workouts right now, man. Just life stuff. But yeah, man, Will said he's not trying to lift the weight room meat either. Okay,
well,
me
yeah,
either.
he's changing up the routine a little bit.
Bro, 225, man, for reps is what we doing right now. If I'm at any point where I'm trying to bulk up or
You're
try,
benching 225 for reps?
Yeah, absolutely.
Must be nice.
Don't do that.
Must be nice.
Don't do that.
Wow.
I'm doing body weight squats or with dumbbells or something like that.
Yesterday it was your brother putting me in my place, and now here you are, and you're not even trying to. Wow.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, dog.
225 for reps. We are not in the same tax bracket on lifting.
At some point we will be, okay, Will? Like,
No, we won't. Don't do that to me. You played 11 years in the NFL. I am never, ever going to be in your tax bracket as far as lifting goes. My genetics are only going to take me so far, and I'm about maybe as far as I can go without making major lifestyle changes.
I'm
I
here.
appreciate you being kind.
I'm trying to listen. You start repping out 225, people going to lower their tone when they talk to you a little bit more.
So that nobody's tone's ever going to be lowered towards me. That's good to know. That's what I have to do in order to get some respect around here, and it's not going to happen.
Start repping out 225. And here, I'm not doing it for 20 anymore. Heck, I ain't even do it for 20.
For 20?
I came out.
225 for 20?
Here's the thing, and I've told you this. My combine workout, I'm a player, okay? Well, watch me make excuses for myself.
There you go.
I'm a player, okay? All this testing, running, jumping stuff was for people that got to justify how good they are. I'm a player. Do you hear me? I
show
play
up on
ball.
Sundays,
I show up
not
on
Tuesdays.
Sunday. You might run a 4-7 playing offensive line. But you ain't got more than 4-7 starts in your career.
There he is.
Talk to a guy that's got over 150 of them.
There he is.
Talk to a guy that's got
As
over
he puts the
150
glasses on. I love
it.
it.
Glasses right now. I might just record us, dog.
I have not ever in my life benched 225 for one rep, so
I got 19.
repping it is crazy. Really?
At the combine, benching. I can bench a lot now.
It's dang good.
But here's the thing. I was at the point in which I was trying to lose weight, trying to gain speed, and benching was one of those things that, like, the excuse I made was my arms are long, and they are very, very long.
That's been my excuse, too.
But what was it? I got 20? I got 20 is what I ended up getting at the combine, if I'm not mistaken. And it just wasn't – I was strong. Wasn't a problem with strength.
Yeah.
But repping it out is a thing. Look at balling out there. 225 and 20 is super easy. Come on, Ramon. You know what also is super easy? Beating your former teams, okay, in college and stuff. Take that, partner. I made game day look easy. Now, here's the other thing, though, too. Like, at my strongest, I was repping out like 315. Like, so
That's insane.
It's
man.
one of the
That's awesome.
My trainer called me right now. Like I said, we used to sit on the floor and do floor presses with dumbbells with like 150s. The strength was there.
Actually, I like floor presses too.
I do too. I enjoy floor. I just couldn't
It's one of
rep
my
out
favorites.
225. And all of that, it knocks you. Not a great 40.
Right.
Not over 25.
It doesn't tell the whole story.
It don't tell the whole story, which is why we're here at training camp.
Commenter says, "Dang, Will, go get them gains, brother. I've had plenty of gains. You should have seen me before I started lifting. Man, if you knew how far I would come, you'd get it. I was 6'1", 130 my freshman year on the cross country team at Tennessee. Gains have happened. I'm just not. I'm not NFL offensive lineman level gains, nor will I ever be, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
What is the standard for a regular human being?
It's a great question because I feel like there's this idea out there that everybody can bench press 225.
It's not true.
I think there is a very small percentage of the population that can bench press 225.
Legit. Okay, let's see.
Very small
who
percentage.
Who can do it for 5 reps? Even lower?
I mean, what percentage of adult males do you think could, for 5 reps, bench 225?
I don't even want to go their body weight. You know how
I'm saying like 10% or less, maybe even less than that.
So here's the other part. The average human being runs a 5.6 40. Think about that.
That feels even faster than I would have said like 6 seconds.
It might even be closer to that. But that's the average, though. Most people are probably closer to a 6 or even, heck, a 6.5 than they are 40. So, we're judging these athletes on how good or bad they are based upon a 40 time when that's far above the expectations of what a regular human being's supposed to get. We look at these dudes jumping 40-inch verticals oh, man.
Yeah, right.
With the right training. No,
absolutely not.
No, not with the right training.
Absolutely not. Commenter on YouTube says, "Dang, Will, they weren't feeding you at BA. They were feeding me 80 miles a week and 5 state championships." So, they were feeding me, maybe just not the same way that others were being fed. And I'll leave it at
He's
that.
just trying to take his shot right there. Hey, listen, man, the private school sector is cool. I don't know why y'all be on that so much like that, man.
That's all right.
Listen,
I get it.
I get it, too. It's all good, man. But with that being said, the average human being hitting 225?
Nah.
Not as normal as we make it.
Congrats to you if you can. Well done. But that's bracket camp that you should be going to.
Put myself on the back.
All right, the Titans have made a roster move. We will finally get here. Dearness Johnson, running back, reportedly signing with the Tennessee Titans. Jordan Schultz, the first two reported. So Dearness Johnson is a 30-year-old running back who has played 103 games in his NFL career and was most recently with the New England Patriots last season. He was up for 7 games, according to Football Reference, a season ago. Has kick return experience, which I find interesting. Not a ton, maybe, of punt return experience, but kick return experience. 38 kickoff returns for 900 yards in the regular season. He had 5 returns for 128, a 25.5-yard average for New England last season. Was with Jacksonville in 2023. Spent most of his time in Cleveland at the beginning of his career from 2019 to 2022. It's the second running back now the Titans have added, Ramon, in the last couple of roster moves that they've made. And I'm curious what the corresponding move is here. What does this mean for the math at running back? Because Dearness Johnson was on active rosters for the defending AFC champion Patriots last season.
He was, man. I remember him in Cleveland as well. He had some good burn with them during a little short stint that he was with them. He was their premier back, I felt like, for a little while when they went through injuries and whatnot. He's got some scat back speed to him. He's quick. He's a downhill type of runner as well. And it may do a little bit of, trying to get an understanding of what's happened with Khalil, correct? Those are the things you have to consider. Now, the other part for me, when you look at a veteran being brought in like this, is Michael Carter, where are you at? Is this for him? And then the other part is, are they trying to make sure they have a veteran enough guy available for games where a lot of people ain't going to want to hear this. Do they start sitting Tajay a little bit more? Do they start sitting Tony Pollard
Bubble wrap him a little bit?
Bubble wrap him a little bit.
You know how I feel about this. In terms of games, I've seen what I need to see from Tajay.
From both of them.
Bubble wrap him.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap him. Yeah.
That's the harsh reality of this time of the year as well. I can see Tajay and Tony both potentially going through these joint practices and shut them down in the game. I can control the environment of practice, right? Because we know it's mostly going to be thud. We know it's mostly going to be like it's going to get physical and they're going to get popped. But like in a game, somebody might try to go low around the pile, and that's where you run the risk of getting guys injured. And as much as I got Curtis hates Tajay in the chat, that's probably the last thing that he wanted is Tajay will be available for the season. But you do have to balance that type of stuff out. It's the same thing the Vols are speaking about when they look at a guy like Deshaun Bishop, right? Like bubble wrap him. I've played with a guy in Le'Veon Bell that had the same issues that Tajay had. When you needed him the most, he was unavailable because of injuries. And that can determine a lot on the season. We're watching this team somewhat craft itself now in a position in which you got to kind of at least lend yourself to say this run game needs to be heavy offensively. Until this passing game catches up, until they get the option routes down, et cetera, right? This run game has to aid a lot moving forward. And I think if you got balance on the ground, which is where Cam benefited from a lot last year, his best games, is when he had a running game. Bubble wrap him. Let them get their practice reps, run through their steps, get the muscle memory, keep conditioning up. But these games, I don't think it's the same thing San Francisco's doing with Christian McCaffrey. Why try to reinvent the wheel on something like this?
Yeah, right. Interesting to see what his role looks like as a tackler on special teams as well, Dearness Johnson. He's been a special teams player for a lot of his career. Does this mean Michael Carter now has a harder chance to make the roster? Yeah. Is this competition for Julius Chestnut to potentially make the roster? I think Julius has had a really good camp.
I almost want to call him a lock.
Right now, if I was putting together a 53-man roster projection, this is one place where I do disagree with Easton Freeze. I think Chestnut's on the team.
What did Austin Stanley have him on his 53? I know he did an early version of a roster.
Yeah, they did one together.
Yeah.
And at running back, they had Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears, Nick Singleton, and Khalil Mullings as the 4 running backs. They had Julius Chestnut and Michael Carter out.
Really? Julius so valuable.
I would flip Mullings and Chestnut.
Absolutely.
Right now. Julius has made plays in the run game. He had the long run against San Francisco on Thursday. He is a special teams tackler. He is another kick return option. Interesting, though. Dearness Johnson, according to Jordan Schultz, added to the roster. We'll see.
I'm not counting Dearness out. I just don't put much stock in it if that means anything to you.
Yeah, I think this is more Michael Carter competition than it is anything. I think it's Michael Carter and Julius Chestnut competition.
Yeah.
It feels like – does it feel like one of those 3 guys or 2 of those 3 guys makes it at running back? Because you're going to have Nick Singleton, Tyjae Spears, Tony Pollard. I mean, I don't know if they're keeping 5 running backs. It feels like one of those 3 guys is going to make the team.
Who's your 3 again?
The 3 that
Julius,
are locks. Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears, and Nick Singleton if they're healthy.
Yes, I see those 3 being already in.
So a 4th guy, you're probably not going to have 5.
Cool thing for Michael Carter is he can negotiate a better price for practice squad if they want to stash
him there. And he could be one of your 6 veteran practice squad guys. Yeah. You can have 6 of those on your practice squad. And I would imagine that one of those is going to be a running back.
Yeah,
at this point, the way the math is kind of coming together.
You can't ask Tajay and Tony to be your special teams guy. I mean, your scout team guy. So, yeah, one of those guys will end up – I think you end up with 2, maybe 1 on a roster and 1 more on practice squad. That's the way I look at it. Wouldn't be shocked if it was 2 if you like them.
We'll see if they can get Khalil Mullings through the practice squad if they feel like they need to, because he's a draft pick last year. There may be somebody willing to claim him, or it may just be that the Titans feel like, hey, it's more important for us to – see this thing out with Khalil. He's had rotten injury luck, and he's a draft pick last year, and he's going to stay on the 53.
And I just wonder also where do the numbers get stolen with this staff? Some teams are very linebacker heavy on their rosters. I think this one is going to be a heavy D-line roster. Mm-hmm. And what positions get left out when it boils down to how they set the 53?
Could mean you keep 3 tight ends. Could mean you have 1 less O-lineman. It could mean you're 1 less receiver. It is interesting, by the way, too. With as much as we talked about the receiver options that they had coming into camp, I feel like there are 6 guys that are pretty set into those roles. Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable saying it's Carnell Tate, Wan'Dale Robinson, who we're going to hear from momentarily, Calvin Ridley, Chimere Dike, Alec Iamaner, Bryce Oliver. Bryce Oliver is a gunner. Boy. Bryce Oliver is a plus special teamer.
Yes.
Bryce Oliver is catching deep passes down the field from Will Levis pretty consistently. I kind of feel like that's your 6 at wide receiver, and that felt like a really big battle coming into camp.
It did.
I'm not sure Xavier Restrepo, Mason Kinsey,
KJ.
Tyron Montgomery, someone we talked a ton about in the spring. We haven't really seen him make many plays. KJ Osborne, I think, would be the next guy.
I think so.
But he could be one of your 6 veteran practice squatter guys, too.
If he's – I almost feel like they would keep Sappin. But then again, it's the practice squad side of it, too.
If you have an extra defensive lineman and linebackers, then I don't know if you can keep Sappin.
That's true. The mosh pit, though.
The joys of training camp.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, this mosh pit of Xavier Restrepo, KJ Osborne, and who else am I missing out of this one, man?
I think it's those two as the next
2.
guys. Yeah. And no one's gotten hurt, knock on wood, so far.
I know. Hank Beatty and Mason Kinsey. I like Hank Beatty.
I do too. I told you last week. I think that's the guy people are going to be like, who's this guy?
I like Hank Beatty, man.
615-737-1045 is our number. You will hear from Titans wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson when we come back. What he had to say to the media on Monday, there is a distinction between a fast ball and a ball that kind of gets on you fast. As a wide receiver, when you speak about working with a quarterback, Cam Ward is trying to get the better side of those two options. And Wan'Dale Robinson talked about that Monday. You will hear that discussion coming up next. If you are moving in Middle Tennessee, you need the very best team that's going to take care of the little things that you don't want to worry about. Maybe you're thinking about moving, but you're thinking about that for sale sign down the street, the one that's been collecting dust in the neighborhood that didn't trust my friends at Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. What's up? It's Will Bowling. Bernie Gallerani guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. Moving is a stressful process. You need a team that's going to give you peace of mind. There's no risk to you. Bernie Gallerani will let you out of the contract at any time. He is the real estate agent who has the 30-day guarantee to sell your home, and if not, he'll buy it from you. You can contact Bernie online at BernieGallerani.com, or you can just call him directly at 615-428-2644. Bernie has a heart for helping Middle Tennesseans. He's not that big national agent that doesn't know or care about you or your goals. He's going to get involved with every little detail in this process and make things as easy as possible. 615-428-2644. That's Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. Online at BernieGallerani.com. Hour number 3 of the program on Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone and Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. 615-737-1045, how you join us. So Wan'Dale Robinson spoke to the media on Monday, and Ramon, I thought this was worth bringing up this morning as we continue to talk about this offense and the progress of the passing game so far. And maybe one area where Wan'Dale Robinson and the wide receivers are still working with Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Wan'Dale was asked about the difference between a fast pass and a pass that just kind of gets to you quickly on your break, the distinction between the two. He had this to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that getting up on you fast is more like you just made your break and the ball's just already right there. I mean, he just does a really good job of anticipating when he wants to throw the ball, and sometimes he throws the ball harder than he thinks he's throwing it, and so it's just us communicating with him like, hey, you can take a little bit off of it right here, and obviously, we want to get run after catch more, so we don't want to worry too much about, hey, we got to worry about the catch, and I want to really run through the ball and be able to get yak for him, so.
Follow-up question, were some of the passes a bit too hot?
Yeah. We talked about it, and think that's part of it, just him, this first game, and, getting jitters out and stuff like that. So I'm not worried about him at all, though.
And one final quote on, is Cam showing improvement in working with Wan'Dale on things like this?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no doubt. I say there's definitely been some passes that we may have had early in camp that he just wanted to zip it on in there. I'm like, hey, you can take something off of it, and but no, it's been great. So
I think it's interesting. Wan'Dale Robinson getting used to catching more fastballs. Cam Ward may be understanding, Ramon, that there are times where he doesn't have to throw fastballs.
Yeah, that's growth. That's, again, the Tom Brady effect that people always speak about, or having wide receivers that you condition to catching, like the Brett Favre conversation that always came up, like it sounded like a missile whizzing by you as he threw it and it hit your shoulder pads or your breastplate and it popped out of it, but you don't have to live that life all the time. As Wan'Dale said, they want to be able to get that yak, be able to feel the ball and roll up field in moments in which the offense continues, and Cam's kind of dotting it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like in the NFL, the good quarterbacks, man, they know how to lead you in as far as open space, but also out of harm space as well. One that I thought gave a great just description of what he's wanting to do. He's like, I'm not trying to think about catching the ball. I'm trying to think about what I'm going to do with the ball. And if I know that every time you throw it, it's a heater, then I got to brace for those types of plays right there so that my hands are ready to go at those moments too. He didn't say a whole lot, but that's a lot of insight into what he's processing as Cam's throwing the ball, but also how they are. Like Wan'Dale being a veteran in this league, he and both Calvin being in the spot to be like, Cam, take some off. And so Cam figuring out, what does that look like? What does that feel like coming out of his hand as well? And the anticipation part he mentioned, that's something I've been concerned about when it comes to Cam. Hearing Wan'Dale kind of cleared it up too, he can get the ball directly out of our break. It's a matter of how quick the ball is coming in at times. And again, I'm not going to claim to overly know the quarterback position, but that's feet, that's shoulders, that's seeing where the ball is supposed to go and where you want to locate the ball at as well. Wan'Dale's one of those types of guys, man, that's played with some dudes, man, that know how to get him the ball and he know what to do with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what this adjustment is. Again, we've spoken about it, not to give an excuse to what this passing game is right now, but this is very much a fill-out process. And I'm not sure if it's going longer than I thought it would, but the fact that they're still communicating is helpful. We'll see how quickly they start to get the return on these conversations, though.
Is Cam's insistence on throwing everything as hard as he can concerning?
Yeah, if he doesn't listen. I sent our group chat the conversation about Deshaun Jackson that he had with what's his name, Jerry Rice. Deshaun Jackson goes out and said, "I'm see if I can find it in our notes." It's not a long quote; it's just insightful as to what he thought he was doing as a player versus what was actually happening. The quote goes like this. Where is it at? Deshaun Jackson said this about Jerry Rice. He said, "Before I touched the NFL field, I trained with Jerry Rice in the Bay Area. He said, run every route. I ran every route," he says. "He ain't critiquing me. He didn't say nothing to me. He said, I only want to tell you one thing on one route." He said, "You're running too fast. Slow down." Deshaun goes on to say, I'm like, what do you mean slow down? He said, look, you fast as hell. When you find out how to run these routes and not be at full speed, you will kill that. He said once he figured that out, everything was easier for him. Like Cam finding that touch, just flicking it to him at times. It's almost like having a fastball and a good changeup. Both motions look the same, but the changeup comes out just a little bit slower and you start manipulating pitches and hitters where they're thinking the fastball is coming. Like that's where Cam has to get to, is manipulate the fastball from time to time. Give your guys an opportunity to get that 5-yard out into a 10-yard run, and that's what Wan'Dale's asking of him, and it's on Cam to somewhat find that balance. When you know you got to give it, nobody questions. Can Cam go get it? Can Cam thread the needle?
Yeah, I think it's well put. I think at this point, Ramon, Cam Ward is the pitcher that can touch triple digits, get a lot of strikeouts, but is also walking too many batters.
It's like Paul Skeens right now.
Honestly, except Paul Skeens isn't throwing 100 right now because
he's not, which is crazy.
He's throwing like 94 and he's gained weight. Yeah,
and
let himself go because he's not on a contending team. Maybe, but
multiple home run
separate conversation.
Yeah,
I know.
But the point is the fastball is gone.
Right, exactly. Like at some point, being able to throw 100 miles per hour doesn't help you when you can't find the strike zone.
No doubt.
Right now, Cam Ward is throwing a lot of 100-mile-an-hour fastballs in moments where he needs to be painting the corners with changeups and pitching. Like, we hear that so much in baseball. Are you a thrower or are you a pitcher?
Yes.
Are you a thrower or are you a quarterback?
Yes.
Cam. 100%. That is the maturation we still need to see from Cam Ward consistently. And some guys can't do it.
Yep.
I tend to believe that Cam will do it. I think he will be the guy here long term because I think he has the work ethic, and I think he now has also the relationship with his offensive play caller.
Right.
And clearly with his wide receivers, where Wan'Dale Robinson is comfortable being honest with him. Like, hey, man, take it easy.
Yeah. I think that is probably the most transparent that any wide receiver can be. With publicly saying something and not being critical of Cam, like, Cam, I don't need to think about catching the ball.
And Ramon, after week 5 or week 6, when Calvin Ridley got hurt, he didn't have that veteran wide receiver.
That's true.
Who was consistently on the field with him that I think could kind of not get in his face, but be honest with him and say, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yep.
The guy to put your arm around you and say, hey, man, I know how this is supposed to look. Trust me.
Yep.
I need about 15% less heat on that football based on the break and the route that I'm running within the system. And that is where I think there is value in Wan'Dale Robinson knowing the system, knowing Brian Daboll, and knowing how to talk to a quarterback because he's worked with many of them at this point in his career, young and veteran.
I think that experience that you speak of is probably, I think it's just a whole problem that the offense has in general.
There are not enough guys who have done it at a high level on winning teams.
I was talking to a buddy of mine, too, that's in the industry, and just, having a conversation about Cam, it was just like, well, it seems to me he's trying to be this. It's like, that's the thing. When you have a veteran team, the vets will tell you how to be that. They'll guide you on how to do those things. Having a veteran wide receiver, like you said, missing Calvin last year and also having Wan'Dale this year are bonuses for him. That's why you bring in veteran guys. That's why I will also say, again, when going back to the running back situation, that's why it's important to bubble wrap these guys to get them to the season because they're as much of a help to Cam as the wide receivers are by handing the ball off and having production in the run game. And offensively, you see the O-line trying to take steps. There are questions about where the tight ends are because there's not much experience, even with a guy like Daniel Bellinger, right? Like, Daniel's got experience, but how big of a role has he had on the teams that he's been with? Like, yeah, I know he's older and he can probably help out Gunner and everybody else in the room,
but
the entire offense experience, Will, is at a level 1, maybe a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look top to bottom at the entire offense. You're right. Like, if you're grading the amount of experience they have, 1 to 10, they're a 2 or a 3.
It's unfair, I would say, to the young guys, not just Cam, to be put in a position where you have to be leader. You have to guide the entire team.
Like, ideally, you'd have one of these veterans to be able to lead you and say, all right, this is how this is supposed to work.
Yes, man.
And it's the good part of this is that you are building that leadership and you're building that experience in real time. The bad side of it is you're doing so while you're losing a lot of football games.
No doubt.
Like, it's hard for someone like Peter Skoronsky to know what a winning organization looks like. Unfortunately, he's not really been a part of this organization while they've won a lot of football games. He has played winning football by himself, but knowing and understanding what a winning locker room looks like, he hasn't done that yet. And it's not his fault.
I think there was a known lie joke. No, I saw there was a known lie joke. Well, even the Titans went undefeated last year in preseason. Like, it don't
2 years
matter.
ago.
2 years ago. But here's the thing, though, too. There is something to be said about learning how to finish and win a game.
Definitely.
At any point.
Absolutely. It's why I'm always going to say try to win every game. Don't worry about draft picks, right?
Yeah,
like once we get in November and December.
No doubt about it. And that's where I feel like this next step for this team is, even in the preseason. That's why these battles that they're going to have with Seattle coming up and the in-stadium performance.
Yeah.
Like, they got to learn how to win and how to push the strain. Like, it's one thing to roll the football out and, heck, I got talent. But what good is that talent if you crumble or the people around you crumble when it's, you're down by 6 points going into the fourth quarter? There's a mentality for that. Like, it is football, but it's also a mentality on getting that job done, and that's the one thing that this team has been lacking. Like, that's the reason we look at the great quarterbacks. The great quarterbacks is moments, right?
Yeah.
The yards, the 62,000 yards that Peyton Manning got is all a part of it. But, like, Peyton's in the Hall of Fame because of his moments. And that's where game-winning drives, comebacks, big plays on first down, learning how to close out games matter more so than, like, accumulating yards in the field like that at times.
Yeah.
I ain't going to say it's not an even.
Well, it's consistent moments week in and week out.
Yeah. And
like, I feel like Cam last year had moments that were sporadic. But it's when those moments become the standard.
Yeah, man.
That's when you become a quarterback. Are you a thrower or are you a quarterback?
Down by 5.
Feeling like you've got confidence. Yeah.
To go win it.
Right.
100%.
Caleb Williams had 6 game-winning drives last season for the Chicago Bears in year 2 and still only completed 58% of his passes the whole year. Now, he had a run game. He had an offensive line. Had a defense that was keeping him in games enough to give him the ball back. And maybe it's unreasonable for us to expect that level from Cam this year. But that's another number 1 overall pick who's got all the tools and learned how to be a quarterback. And again, this is where, and I saw this circulating a little bit on social media yesterday, and you and I have talked about this too. No one is immune from being a game manager. Patrick Mahomes had to learn how to be a game manager. When we say Cam Ward has got to learn how to be a game manager, that, for some reason, gets a negative connotation. That's not a negative. That's common sense to me. In 2021, the Kansas City Chiefs came to Nashville, Tennessee, and the Titans kicked their butt as Patrick Mahomes was in the middle of learning, I should check it down every now and then.
Yeah.
And as he learned how to do that, he won another ring, and then another ring, and went to another Super Bowl. But there is no one in this league who's ever been Hall of Fame level, that elite level of quarterback, that didn't have to go through some kind of process, Ramon, as you know, of learning how to manage the game. That is not a bad thing. That is the standard. That is the job as an NFL quarterback.
I got nothing else to add.
615-737-1045. I hate that. Like, we should – this guy has to be better than just a game manager. He's a number 1 overall pick. Brother, number 1 picks have got to manage the game too.
Because if you
Everyone
go too
has
far,
to.
You'll screw this game up.
That's how you end up getting traded or on practice squads or not being the starter there for very long, when you don't realize how to manage the football game. Are you a thrower or are you a quarterback? Are you a thrower or are you a pitcher?
Yep.
Stuff gets you in the door.
Yes, it does.
Being able to control and manage that stuff in the right moments helps you stay around.
Facts, my brother.
We wrap up hour 3. Coming up next, an interesting exercise from Brett McMurphy on the most overrated teams in the playoff era of college football and the most underrated teams. Interested to see how many of these you can get right in the top 10. Coming up next. Are you or someone you love having difficulty hearing conversations when there's background noise? Maybe you struggle to participate in conversations at noisy restaurants, at sporting events. Well, I want to tell you about my friends at Brentwood Hearing Center. What's up? It's Will Bowling with 4 doctors of audiology, the latest diagnostic equipment, and the most recent hearing device technology. They will arrive at a hearing solution that fits your individual need. There's no one-size-fits-all or off-the-shelf hearing aid that works for everyone. Brentwood Hearing Center is going to talk to you. Learn where you're challenged to hear, perform diagnostic testing, and demonstrate devices that will help you in those situations where there's background noise. Give them a call today at 615-377-0420 or reach out to them via their website at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. Again, that's 615-377-0420. Brentwood Hearing Center, better hearing, better life. I think the term overrated is overused in sports. Josh Pate says this very well on his show, which I highly recommend this time of year. If you tell me somebody's overrated, then what are they rated? Tell me what they should be rated or why they are overrated with specifics.
Like you shouldn't get away with just saying that.
Exactly. Like what should they be rated if they're overrated or underrated for that matter? Well, Brett McMurphy at On3 has, now that the AP poll has come out, the most overrated team since 2014, meaning teams that are ranked in the preseason poll and unranked by the end, or way lower than they were originally ranked at the beginning of the season. I don't want you to look.
I'm not. Our show was about to.
I've got the top 10 most overrated and underrated teams relative to their preseason polls in the AP since 2014 in the college football playoff era. Who, Ramon Foster, in your mind, do you think is the most overrated team in college football since 2014?
Clemson.
Clemson is number 4. Well done.
Okay.
Good start.
I'm top 5.
Good start. Clemson,
I got
the
a good
4th
one.
most overrated team in college football in the last 12 years.
I got a good one.
Hit me.
Penn State.
Penn State, not on the list.
What?
Not on the list. Not in the top 10.
Overrated.
You're 1 for 2.
Since 2014, Texas.
Texas, also not on the list.
Damn, I'm right.
Surprises me a little bit, I know.
USC.
USC, number 3. Now you're back. 2 for 4. USC, the 3rd most overrated team, according to the AP poll since 2014.
Florida.
Florida, also not on the list.
Dang.
You've also, to be fair, you've not said any who are most underrated, which we'll do next as well.
Okay, let me get one more about it. Not Michigan. Michigan's done well.
Michigan's number 10.
Get out.
Most overrated team since 2014. Michigan, number 10, according to preseason and then postseason AP polls.
Notre Dame's hard to judge, but I'm going to say Notre Dame.
Notre Dame not on there either. I feel like that is one that gets a lot of criticism,
But
in reality, they're pretty
they
properly
still kinda
rated
crush
year to
it.
year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go Oregon.
Oregon is number 8 most overrated team. One of these teams in the top 10 is a team we thought yesterday was overrated when the preseason AP poll came out.
A&M.
Texas A&M, number 7. Number 7. And we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
That's where the divide is. It feels like there are 7 bona fide national title contenders. And then starting with A&M at 8, things get a little bit shakier. Miami is also not on the list.
Which is crazy. Well, maybe because they've been down for a while up until late.
They just haven't been ranked.
Yeah, they haven't been ranked. It's no way is Alabama.
I'll give you a hint. The top 2 are both SEC teams on the most overrated team since 2014.
Georgia?
Not Georgia.
Let's go.
Georgia, not on the list at all.
Auburn.
Auburn is number 1. Congratulations, Auburn Tigers. You are the most overrated team in college football since 2014.
Text coming
I'm
in
sorry,
from
Don. Yeah, that Babs will text us in 3, 2, 1. So Auburn, the last 3 times that Auburn cracked the preseason top 11, 2015, 2018, and 2020, they finished unranked every single time. Every single time.
Golly. I can see that being the case. There's a lot that comes out of from the plains, man.
So they're number 1. The team that's number 2, it felt like for 5 straight years, played Auburn, and in that game, whoever lost was on the hot seat.
Bama?
Nope.
Oh.
Not Alabama.
Missouri.
Nope.
Arkansas.
Not Arkansas.
Ole Miss?
LSU.
Overrated?
LSU, the 2nd most overrated team in college football, according to preseason AP polls since 2014. They almost took this over. So Brett McMurphy writes, LSU nearly overtook them based on On3's comparison of preseason and final top 25 rankings in the 12-year CFP era. Auburn, LSU, USC, Clemson, and Wisconsin are the 5 most overrated teams over that span. Last year, LSU, Clemson, and Penn State, of course, were all top 10 teams and finished unranked, which skewed this a little bit. There was that span where, it was Les Miles against Auburn. Loser leaves town game.
Yep.
Les Miles gets let go. Ed Orgeron, Gus Malzahn. Edo ultimately, all right, you're out of here. Gus Malzahn, kind of the same thing There was like a 5-year span there where it felt like whoever lost the LSU Auburn game was really sitting on a very hot seat.
Oh, that's ugly, man. Florida State didn't have them on my radar. I feel like they've been more off the radar than making this list.
So that's the top 10. Auburn, LSU, USC, Clemson, Wisconsin, top 5. FSU 6, Texas A&M 7, Oregon 8, Oklahoma 9, Michigan 10. And Ramon, for all the people who are going to say, well, Tennessee's overrated every year because every year it feels like 98, Tennessee not in the top 25 of the most overrated teams since 2014. Not on the list at all.
I'll take that.
Let's go underrated real quick. Who do you think the most underrated teams are in college football in the playoff era?
Most underrated teams in the college football? Oregon? No.
Well, Oregon you put on the other list.
I put on the overrated. Let's go. Jeez, well, who could be underrated in this?
There are two
Ole
SEC
Miss.
teams. Ole Miss is the most underrated SEC team since 2014.
I agree
Number
with
6.
that. Number 6
overall
on that list.
Yep.
An underrated squad, Texas Tech,
Texas Tech not on there.
TCU.
TCU is
Yes.
7. TCU is 7, the 7th most underrated team since 2014.
I almost feel like we'll go in the weeds on this, like UCF.
UCF not on there.
Okay. Pitt.
Pitt's not on there.
Pitt's not on there?
Nope.
I would absolutely
They
have
may be in the
Pitt
top
on there.
25. I just ranked the top 10.
The top 10.
I will tell you, Vanderbilt number 23. The 23rd most underrated team in college football since 2014. Last year did a very big
number
service for them towards that, and for good reason.
Well, no doubt.
They were a powerhouse last year.
Minnesota.
Not in Minnesota.
Jeez.
Number 1 is a
Illinois.
Big 12 team. Illinois not on there either.
Oregon
Kirby just
State.
said one.
Oklahoma State.
Nope.
I said Texas Tech already. Colorado.
Nope. Colorado and their strength coach not on the top 25.
I ain't got a clue.
BYU is the most underrated team in college football since 2014. Until this season, they had been unranked 4 times in the last 6 years, but finished each season ranked. How about that? In the last 2 seasons, BYU started outside the top 25. They finished 13th in 2024, and of course last year were right on the cusp of making the playoff at number 11 in 2025. They are number 14 in this preseason poll. That is their highest preseason ranking since 2008, when they started number 16. Number 2 is a layup that you'll kick yourself for when you hear it.
Louisville.
Not Louisville.
Oh, Louisville definitely gets underrated. I feel like
sometimes. Indiana.
No.
Well, they just won the national title after being ranked 20th.
This
But
is
a little
since
bit different, but-
2014?
Since 2014, Indiana.
No.
Well, remember, like those Tom Allen teams were decent, right? Like the
is why
team
they
that
made the
Jeremy
list.
Pruitt beat in the Tax Slayer Bowl. Like
This is why they made the
he had a
list.
good little run
Okay,
there for
all
a little bit. Then they went back into back into the dumps, and now obviously they're the defending national champions.
Get out of here.
Number 6 for Indiana in the preseason ranking, their highest in school history. Rest of the top 10 before we get to Rhett Bryan on the other side. Northwestern, number 3.
I can see that.
Northwestern, who is really good at losing Outback Bowls to SEC teams. Iowa, number 4.
Most definitely.
Boise State, 5. Ole Miss, 6. TCU, 7. You got them. Tulane, 8. Tulane, 8.
That's disrespectful. On me. That's
Yeah,
disrespect-
Tulane is a good one,
That's
for sure.
disrespectful on me.
Cincinnati, 9. And how about this? I would not have thought this. Mississippi State. The 10th most underrated team in the playoff era, according to preseason and postseason AP polls.
They're in such a
It's a fun
dip
exercise.
right now that you don't think about it. They're in a dip
Yeah,
right now.
they are. They absolutely
It's
are.
all right. They didn't even come to mind.
Tennessee on neither list. Tennessee neither overrated or underrated. Turns out the AP voters are usually pretty good, despite what Heather Dinich said on ESPN yesterday when she said, Tennessee, why are they even ranked? Well, they
Where'd she go to school?
returned 90% of an offense that was one of the best of the SEC last year. And Josh Heupel's still the head coach. That's why they're ranked. It seemed pretty obvious why they're ranked.
Where did she go to school at? Heather Dennis. Let me look her
Oh,
up
I mean,
real quick.
she's-
I just got to do it for gigs. You feel me? I don't even know. Her profile ain't even coming up. Indiana.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
She went to Indiana. Sucks to be her.
Football school. 615-737-1045 is our number as we roll into hour number 4. Rhett Bryan of Titans Radio joins us for his weekly visit next.
9:04, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Titans news earlier this morning per Jordan Schultz. The Titans are signing veteran running back and special teamer Dearness Johnson to a one-year contract. Johnson, in 7 seasons between the Browns and Jaguars, Cardinals, and Patriots, has over 1,000 rushing yards, 50-plus catches for over 400 receiving yards, and can contribute as a returner with over 900 career return yards. Titans training camp does continue today at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center as Titans continue their preparation for the Seahawks in preseason game number 2 this Sunday, and joint practice coming up on Friday. Other NFL news this morning per Adam Schefter, who reports that Saints running back Alvin Kamara is expected to be sidelined for at least the next month due to a sprained MCL that he suffered in practice on Tuesday. The Saints opened their season against the Lions in 26 days. In New York, the Giants are trading offensive lineman Daniel Faalele to the Jaguars for a late 2027 draft pick. Per Evan Barnes of Newsday Sports in New York, Faalele was signed by the Giants in April after spending the last 2 seasons with John Harbaugh and the Ravens. Coming up tonight, MLS's best Nashville Soccer Club returns to the pitch, fresh off a 4-1 win over Inter Miami on Saturday. Tonight, they're in New York to take on the Red Bulls with kickoff at 6:30. You can, of course, hear the match right here on 104.5 The Zone. Pre-game with Will Bowling get you started at 6 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Bring it easy once in your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the 4th and final hour of the show. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Ramon and Will live for 60 more minutes on 104.5 The Zone, Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, as well as the 104.5 The Zone app. At 9 o'clock on Wednesdays, you get the executive producer of Titans Radio, Rhett Bryan, as well, who joins us here for the 4th quarter of the program. Rhett, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm doing good, and y'all?
We are excellent.
Good.
Nice day.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood.
And a good day to watch some football practice with the Super Bowl champs coming to town later this week.
Humidity's creeping back up a little bit, but there's cloud cover. Not supposed to be as hot during practice. Obviously, it can be like 95 this afternoon. And then a chance of storms overnight, and then a drop in temperature as we head towards the weekend.
And maybe temperatures.
That's your outlook and forecast for 104.5 The Zone. I'm meteorologist Rhett Bryan.
And maybe temperatures that will rise when Seattle gets to the practice field as well.
That's almost a guarantee there.
I'm
Heat
of
wave.
the mindset. For us, I enjoy this. I think the guys need a break. We need a break, even from sitting around in
That's
this heat,
correct.
right? I do love seeing opposing teams die in Southern heat, though.
Die is a bit morbid, but I get what you
It's a
mean.
figure of speech.
Struggle
Exhaustion?
to finish practice.
Exhaustion.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They out here looking at coaches like, man, are you going to call? No, more. You get more of this.
You are
okay?
Denzel and remember the Titans. It's not fun anymore, is it? No, it's not fun anymore.
No, it's not fun anymore, man.
R.I.P. Hayden.
Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah, Hayden Panettiere.
Really sad.
Jeez.
That's crazy, man.
She was so good in that movie.
Yes, she was. That little girl, she acted her butt off.
Fantastic.
On that one, man.
She
Goodness
did.
gracious.
Fantastic.
Oh, tough.
Rhett, one headline we can react to with you that just dropped. Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, the Tennessee Titans' Week 2 opponent, has just spoken to the media and said that edge rusher Jonathan Grenard, who Philly traded for this offseason, has a pectoral injury and could miss the start of the season. And that would be significant for a matchup with the Titans that is in Week 2. Said he does not know when he will return, and there is concern that he could miss the start of the season. Philly paid him 4 years, $98 million over the offseason. They opened the year with Washington.
Let me say this. First of all, there is a covey of talent in that front, defensive front that the Eagles have. No Jonathan Grenard. Mm-hmm. Don't wish him any ill will, but doesn't break my heart.
At all. Sometimes, right, it's good to be lucky in these situations. You're not
Sometimes
running
it's
from
what it requires.
Absolutely. You're not running from it, but
No. But are you going to take the advantage?
Do I feel sorry for you? No.
No.
Not even.
Now, knowing you've got a top defender potentially not there, do you plan to take advantage of it, full advantage of it, and scheme and work and do your thing?
You
I mean,
absolutely
that's what the plan will be if that's going to be it, going into that week.
And that's what training camp is too, Rhett. Like, like they're at a point right now, the Eagles, where they got to pivot and try to figure out what they are. How do they supplement this? Is there somebody on the free agent wire that they have the ability to go get? Or is there somebody on their roster that needs to step up? It's the same thing you look at, of course, with Jacob Martin being out. Like Keldrick Falk, next opportunity, let's go. And, like, if you're the Titans looking at this situation, you can kind of start scheming your game plans for the season, those first 4 games, to kind of say, yeah, he's in, he's not, because he is most definitely an X factor.
One free agent that just got signed.
Another one.
In media. Congrats to our friend Trevor Sikkema, joining NFL Media this morning.
Let's go.
Just announced a couple of minutes ago.
That's
He'll be
fantastic.
a host of NFL Pro, which will stream Monday and Friday at 4 o'clock Central on NFL Channel beginning September 4th. Will be on NFL Fantasy Football Show, Free Agents, NFL Report, NFL Network, and featured across events such as the Super Bowl, NFL Draft, and NFL Combine. We are Trevor Sikkema fans on this radio program.
all three
and
of us.
He deserves that every single bit.
No, and I'll tell you, for anybody who knows that name, Trevor Sikkema, the NFL Stock Exchange podcast that he and Connor Rogers did for quite some time, you talk about some excellent stuff. I mean, they do positional previews every summer of college guys before their college season for the next draft class. In other words, they've done that for some 2027 prospects. But, yeah, Trevor's a great dude, and I'm so happy that he landed on his feet because we need more info and energy that Trevor brings to a microphone.
Absolutely. Rhett, what do you want to see here in the practice field today? What are you watching for?
More of the same from Cam Ward because clearly whatever happened in San Fran, he started practice a little off kilter in some of those things, and then he has been a machine basically. Now, again, it's just practice, but I would like to see more of the same.
Absolutely, and I think that's what his teammates are looking for as well, just like that next step as far as him molding himself into being the quarterback he desires to be. That's, I mean, the learning, the steps that need to be taken, the maturity rate that goes into it, it's happening now in real time. And, like, we'll look back at these points and guess what, 3 to 5 years and say, okay, what steps have been made? Is he turned into the guy that you want him to be? And it starts, like, every day now. But it's hard judging it in real time, right? Because there's still a lot of correction that's happening, but you still see the progress that's being made on the practice field. You want to see all of that translate into week 1 going into this season.
I would like to see, to piggyback off of what you're saying, I would like to see Cam be one of the however many players win this week.
Yes, no doubt.
Like they stack practices. He's already done that from Saturday practice to Monday practice. Do that again today and in the joint practice, and then do it again Sunday night at Nissan Stadium against the defending world champion Seahawks.
No doubt, because the way it goes, man, anybody can do something once, right? But it's a matter in this league and being pros and even in college, doing it over and over and over again. And, of course, playing that position as well, like elevating your guys around you. But also, this is the biggest part, Rhett, just taking what's been given. Like, you take no loss making a profit. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
And those are things that have to be learned over time. And I'm hoping that a little bit of this process, man, they hit a little bit of study hall, man, get some tutors and get some progress on this thing, man, because this fan base is chomping for this opportunity.
They are. They truly are. We mentioned on the OTP that dropped on Monday, I mentioned the Fernando Carmonas, the Joey Slides. There's 3 or 4 guys who won last week.
Right.
I'd like to say number 1, Cam Ward, will be one of those that wins this week. Because, it's important. The great takeaways from last Thursday's game in Santa Clara against the Niners is they were able to establish the run game.
Right.
They were able to stop the opposing run game. 2 areas that needed improvement from 2025. Now, let's do that again, and then let's add another layer of passing to this and try to open let's get Carnell Tate his first catch.
No
let's
doubt.
get Carnell Tate his first touchdown. Let's get, let's build on those things. Because that's important as you're starting to try to stack days, stack practices. And because here's the thing, like you believe it, and you do too, Will, the defense is going to be all right on this team with what they've – then obviously with draft and investment in free agency. Special teams is going to be fine.
Yeah.
If this offense can bring up their third of this and level up, this could be a lot of fun.
And the thing about the offense leveling up, though, too, Rhett, sometimes your best defense is having a good offense. Sustaining drives, like going 95 yards. And, yes, it's a preseason game, backups, but, like, that sets the tone for what your expectations are going to be as well. Being able to walk inside of a stadium, say, this is our game plan, and there's nothing you can do to change it. Like, that assists to the confidence that you have as a team as far as your build process now. Like, and I thought that was very impressive on those guys this past weekend, saying, you know what, put the damn ball down and let's go run it. And they did it. Now you're asking for it, and I think everybody else that's watched that game is, now let's sprinkle in a little bit of this passing game. Let's make a few more connections. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that. And I know the guys that are attempting these passes and running these routes, they want that as well.
Well, how great would it be on several occasions when the regular season cranks up that we look at the time that the defense spent on the field?
Yeah.
Because there was many times it hit 40 minutes last year.
Yeah.
And that is an eternity in gameplay.
Way too much time.
So, to your point, long, sustainable drives. You talk about Jeffrey Simmons being fresh and a happy camper and terrorizing other quarterbacks. Good grief.
I think the expectation gets higher then, right?
Yeah.
Like if the offense, even if they do a 15-play drive and it ends in a field goal because, hey, that team is a trench monster within the red zone, the expectations for the defense goes higher. Now you push expectations higher on them, more on them. We've given you time. You should be rested. Cornerback should be on the spot. The ability to capitalize on turnovers should be there. You should want to be in those spots. And then you also throw off the flow of the opposing team's offense by resting them for too long.
And to the pressure you're talking about adding to the defense, couple that with Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley's rotation of the front four.
Absolutely.
It's like, you're going to be fresh because of that, but I'm going to give you some more fresh because we just spent 6 minutes off the clock and 15 plays. Okay, Joey got a field goal, but y'all got time to talk it over.
Absolutely. Like, being on the sideline for that long offensively, man, it makes you question it. Like, if you're the opposing offense on the side, like, the pressure is added to you to go be outside of yourself, and that can ruin a game plan. That can, speed up quarterbacks, whatever the case may be, when it comes down to them trying to make something happen fast.
Rhett Bryan with us from the Vanderbilt Health Football Center ahead of today's practice. One more practice with fans here today with just the Titans before the Seahawks get here for Friday's joint practice session. We'll talk more about players who have raised their stock over the course of training camp so far with Rhett Bryan, and we'll also react to the roster move that the team made earlier this morning. Coming up after this, Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Rhett Bryan, Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Man, nobody likes dealing with the plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost you if it'll get fixed right, or if someone's just trying to sell you something you don't need. I do know when you reach out to Hiller, the experts, they solve your problems quickly. And here's the most important part. The price that you chose, the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises on your bill whatsoever when you get them. They've been in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated. Their techs, very professional, experienced, and trustworthy, and they're all background and drug screened as well. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech that's coming to your home and a link to track them in real time so you can watch them showing up. So if you got errands to run, have to leave out for a little bit, you can see where they are on the map, and you can just leave the house and not worry about missing an appointment. They believe in 100% satisfaction every single time. Their motto is happy you'll bill, the service is free. Listen, to learn more about Hiller or book with them like I do, head over to happyhiller.com.
Ramon Will rolls on from Titans training camp at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. Rhett Bryan, the executive producer of Titans Radio, with us.
You know why he's playing this bump music back?
Because everybody's crazy about a sharp-dressed man.
Nope. I mean, that's true. Dusty Beard, the original longtime drummer of ZZ Top, passed away yesterday.
Did he?
Yep. Drummer for ZZ Top, the little old band from Texas for 6+ decades.
Yeah, wow.
Legit.
Mm-hmm.
Legit. So Jayhawks giving a little tip of the cap
Well done.
to ZZ Top.
Well done. Very well done. Rhett, the Titans, according to a report from Jordan Schultz, are adding a running back. This is not official yet via the team. It has simply been reported on social media. Jordan Schultz saying that running back and special teamer Dearness Johnson is being signed to a 1-year contract, over 1,000 career rushing yards, over 900 career kick return yards, and 50-plus catches for over 400 yards in his career. Played 8 games for the New England Patriots a season ago. Began his career in Cleveland. What stands out about his skill set and reportedly what he could add to the Titans training camp?
Well, first of all, very serviceable back.
Yes.
Vet. He's 30 years old. I remember when he was drafted out of South Florida. A Bull out of Tampa there. And but very serviceable. Especially what I remember, and I remember him playing with New England last year, but I remember his time in Cleveland.
That's where I remember him from.
The most, yeah, because there was some injury issues with other backs there at the time, and but you just rattled off the numbers. I mean, more than 50 catches out of the backfield, and then he's a return specialist and can help you with that stuff too. So, you know, if this is true, which if somebody like him is reporting it, the team hadn't done it yet. I assume that'll be done before too long. It just makes me wonder about who's hurt the most with the running back core, because as Jim White has reported via TennesseeTitans.com, the last couple of practices, they've only had 3 healthy backs out there. As Nick Singleton, Tony Pollard, and Khalil Mullings have been working through some things. So I don't know if it's a reflection of just that and trying to get another running back body to help you get through camp, or if there's another roster move happening, but we will see. But certainly a name of note, and like I said, very serviceable back.
Most definitely. It makes you question, though, that point about having 3 available backs. So, too, Rhett, that's been out here practicing. How long gone the young fella Khalil Mullings? You know, like –
who's been reported to have a hip pointer issue.
You know, and I never had that, and definitely don't know how that feels, but I'm guessing when you're an athlete the way he is, anything that's going on in or around your hip, I'm not sure what the medical term is. It a tear? Is it just a bruise in that area? But either way, it's kept him off the field. So you got to have somebody, especially with a physical team like Seattle coming in soon too.
Yes, that is a very good point. And look, a hip pointer is going to sideline anybody doing this because of how much you use. That's the thing, you don't even realize how much you use something like that. Now, if you're a back, it's one of the top things on the list. Your legs, your feet, your hips, all of those things. But, yeah, I do believe it's more than just some roster churn at the back of the roster kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. And see if Dearness Johnson strolls out here for practice either today or on Friday.
It says, according to Chat GPT, a hip pointer is essentially a deep, painful bruise to the top edge of your pelvis.
We've got Justin GPT back in the studio.
Man, Justin don't know that. He's looking it up the way I did. Just saying, you giving him too much credit.
Justin, who literally was a PT, he puts the PT in physical therapy.
Justin
is that
GPT.
About right on a hip pointer, Justin?
What you got for us, Hawk?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay.
That's it?
Stunning analysis.
Man, that's crazy. But it said a hip pointer usually isn't a fracture or injury to the hip itself. It's just very painful. So he must have taken a hit. See, this is why we need to go back to the late 90s and early in the 80s, Rhett. Put on those big old hip pads, man. Guys want to be all swift and fast and have less equipment
Wear a
on.
cowboy collar.
Wear a cowboy collar,
stuff.
man.
Yep.
Roll collar. Even you ain't got to wear the cowboy.
Yeah.
Give me the big hip pads, man.
Yep.
Oversize them things. I'm joking. Even I wore the shells. It was a moment in time I should have got fined for it. I wasn't wearing thigh pads or knee pads.
In a game or
in
practice?
A game.
In a game. Wow.
It got to a point when I had my braces in, I wasn't even wearing a mouthpiece.
Were you not?
I was an idiot. But I also had to have a special.
Yeah, it sounds like you just like to live on the edge. You're an adrenaline junkie is what you are.
How long into that career
You
were
had
you
braces and didn't wear a mouthpiece, and you're playing. What in the
That's
world?
crazy.
You want to know why?
Okay, go.
Want to talk trash?
Yep.
It prohibited you from
trash.
running your trash can.
That's right.
Okay.
It did. That was the main reason.
It's hard for me to put you in mental jail if I don't have a mouthpiece in.
Yeah. And,
Wow.
because the orthodontic mouthpiece for braces is thicker. So I couldn't talk trash the way I wanted to at the time.
What do you remember? What game specifically?
Man, a lot of them. I'm going to be real with you. A lot of them. This was era 2011. In that era right there, I'm still a young guy at that point in time, too. And I just started getting the feel of starting games. And I was just out there chirping with the best of them. And the dumb thing about not wearing a mouthpiece, though, is when you take hits, your teeth chatter. That chatter also, you need to have something that you can grit your mouth on.
Yes.
To embrace so that
Yes.
you don't cause concussions and stuff like that. And
Or tooth damage, for that matter.
while I'm already trying to wear protective items of a mouthpiece, of braces in my mouth. So I wasn't wearing knee pads. I felt like it slowed me down.
Rhett, I think the running back competition is really. You made it 11 years. You worked out just fine. Rhett, the running back position battle is a really interesting one because I think Julius Chestnut has made it really hard to make a roster without him. The way he's run the ball, the way he's played in special teams, the big run he had the other night against the 49ers. But Michael Carter has a lot of experience. Dearness Johnson has a lot of experience. They've got some really good options right now, and I don't think they know what that running back room looks like at that end of the roster.
And I'm sure someone will ask Robert Saleh that at the end of practice today at his availability as to, any insight as to what this move was like or what, especially if the team has made it official at that point. I need to preface it by saying that. But you're right. And that's the whole goal for any of these guys that have fought their rear ends off to stay on a roster and make it every year. They want to say, hey, I put some stuff on tape to remind you I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I talked to David Martin Robinson walking off the practice field on Monday, and I said, I see you putting in the work. He said, I got to remind him. Got to remind him.
Get a new trick, right? Make them notice you every single time.
And this is also, and that's still his mindset after knowing that Jaron Kanik, the 7th-round draft pick, is on IR and gone for the year. It wasn't conceded like, I'm in now. No.
Work has to be done because he's still competing. Unless you're a high draft pick or the franchise quarterback, you're still competing against other guys on other rosters.
And the other thing is, in DMR's case, I mean, he knows where his bread is buttered, and it's special teams.
With Coach Fossil.
And so that's part of it. But, yeah, Julius Chestnut is just trying to here's the thing I noticed about him about a week and a half ago. Like, he just started running angry.
He did. Lowering his shoulder,
He's a great dude. He's a very nice guy.
Yep.
But, man, he just started running peed off, man, just mad.
He did
Which
it in
is
the
kind
game.
of what it takes. He did. He definitely did it in the game.
In the game, man. So it's translated over for him. There is a world where those backs exist in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Well, look at Dearness Johnson. I mean, he's 30 years old. He's in year, 7 or 8, something like that. And so, that's how if you learn how to be a pro and take care of yourself in and out of the building with your body and diet and exercise and all those things, and then you come to work and you have done the homework, you're going to find yourself staying in this.
Yes, you will.
God forbid injury.
And again, those type of guys that, not non-starters at the positions. Also, you bring up that point with DMR, David Martin Robinson, and also Julius Chestnut, they can earn bread being with Coach Fossil on special teams.
You doggone right they can. Listen, when I did a thing with some of the Titans alum a couple of months back, talking to the rookies in the team meeting room. And Delaney Walker, I said, we got through a few questions, and I was like, Delaney, it's time. We probably need to have the special teams chat with these gentlemen. And I said, guys, Delaney wore number 46, was drafted in the 6th round, and They'd already taken a tight end that year in that draft, and I said, tell them your story.
Yeah.
And he said, he thought he was going to get cut, and he started learning how to play special teams. And then he just leaned in and said, guys, years ago they paid me $3.5 million to play special teams because I was good at it, and I was going to go out there and knock somebody's head off.
Right.
He said, you can make a good living.
Absolutely.
And he said, here's the attitude and the approach you need. You start every game. You start every half. You are a starter.
Yes, sir. Absolutely right.
You might be on that phase, but you are one of the first things people see.
Mm-hmm.
The team did just make it official. Dearness Johnson signed. Dominic Richardson waived, the running back that they signed for Monday's practice.
And that's what I wondered originally because Dominic, very short tenure here.
Real short.
And the young man fumbled in practice the other day, unfortunately. And so there's the roster move. And certainly with what we talked about with 2 or 3 of the backs having some issues with whatever they're dealing with and being in the training room, that also makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
And the other part of it is the Titans are not in salary cap jail. They have money to operate on, and this is the kind of thing that you do, and this is the kind of thing that they will do throughout the football season, Mike Borgonzi and his staff.
It just also shows you don't mess up the flow of practice. You put a ball on the ground in situations, you are judged harshly, especially when you don't have much stock in the bank with the coaches.
And you only have so many reps.
You do. You cannot, and I can't emphasize this enough, you cannot lose the ball in these type of moments, man, when you are a non-premium guy. You know,
Right.
Even the guys who are veterans on this team, you can't put the ball on the ground.
And you're not even doing it in a game. This is in practice here. And I feel bad for that young man, but I just wondered if that wasn't some of that. And, again, I'm sure head coach Robert Saleh will address that. Someone will ask that after practice today at his availability at the podium.
Yeah.
So, there it is, official. Dearness Johnson, the newest member of the Tennessee Titans, veteran running back, 30-year-old man, out of South Florida University, the Bulls in Tampa Bay.
I love it.
Almost made light of that situation with Richardson, man, but it just, if you have it, put it on the film. Put it on tape. Put it in practice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which is exactly what we've been talking about with the David Martin Robinsons,
facts,
the Julius Chestnuts of the world. That's what Michael Carter comes in as a veteran is trying to do, who has a lot of the same skill set as a Dearness Johnson.
Yep. I mean, you look at Bryce Oliver and how he's put it on tape year in and year out. You know
how
what
about Bryce Oliver? Hey, we hadn't even talked about that. What about Bryce Oliver's catch on Monday?
Absolutely right.
When he shucks a defender,
No doubt.
I said, no, I'm taking that ball.
He's showing his value. If you need me at the wide receiver position, if you need me, I got you right here.
I know I'm over here with Bones,
Yeah.
and I'm a gunner, and I'm take care of business, but guess what else I can do?
I do this WR thing, too, like from time to time, if you need
He's
it.
the all-time leading touchdown receptionist in Youngstown State,
That's what I'm saying.
storied football program who has lots of sub Division I BCS championships.
And not only
man,
that, they put guys in the league at Youngstown as
Yes,
well.
they
So
do.
that you can't overlook being at your position and having to do it. We're watching another guy too he wasn't dead in the water, but he made my stock up list, and that's James Williams. Finding and tuning a new trick to make himself valuable for the side that he wanted to be drafted for, and that's him playing linebacker or transitioning to that linebacker position. Man, he's made a lot of stock in practice reps, right?
And let's take it a step further, because going from a 3-4 to a 4-3,
Yes.
he knew what the job was
Yep.
when Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley and company were hired.
Yep.
He took that to heart. He dropped 20 LBs
Yes, he did.
so that he can be what they need him to be. And now he has shown up on the film here and in the preseason.
Yes,
and
he has.
that's another one. I want to see him stack another week, because James has a lot of talent.
Yeah, he does.
Was a top safety coming out of high school, 5-star. I think a top 15 safety
a 5-star.
prospect in the country. And just a great story, great dude, and loves ball. And the guy he's completely embracing his role in this, because he knows if you do that, you're going to stay in this league.
Definitely. Definitely. Rhett, who else has a rising stock for you at this point as we wrap up this morning?
In honor of Biggie here, I'm going with the obvious 66.
6'6".
Fernando Carmona Jr., the 5th-round rookie from Arkansas.
What a steal.
I want to see more. I want to see more. We knew he was nasty. Yeah. We knew he was a road grader type. And it just seems like, and y'all have mentioned this on your show, it just seems like as mad as J.C. Latham is, that whole side of that offensive line, when those two are working in tandem, that's almost like they're all grit, but that is just the hard-nosed side of the stuff.
Yes, it is, right.
And I like what I know you like what you see. Brad Hopkins likes what he sees. But I just, that's the obvious low-hanging fruit, easy choice, is that he has started to make himself a name in camp and under the lights. Let's see more of that.
Imagine finding a 5th-round starter. And this has been day one. Like, imagine that, like, again.
We'll see.
The draft is just a pot of talent. Like, and again, we've seen first-rounders bomb out, right? We've seen it, and we've watched guys ascend up as well. I do think when you find a 5th-round guy like Fernando Carmona, it just does something for the idea that we're doing something right in the scouting department.
And speaking of that, real quick.
Potentially starter.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I would be very curious to know where Mike Borgonzi and his staff had them on their draft board. Because I bet you it was higher than the 5th round.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he was a first-round I'm just saying I bet you it was in a different pod and
3
tier.
to 5 probably. 3rd round to 5th round.
I would not disagree with that, and I would think that would be somewhere close to the truth.
Rep Brian with us here from Titans Training Camp. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's go watch practice.
Let's do it.
Sir.
Coming up here in about a half hour as we wrap up the show. Coming up next, there is a person in sports who you already hear a lot from, who you are about to hear more from. We'll tell you about that coming up next. Wrapping up the show on Ramon and Will. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, live at Titans Training Camp. The Buck Rising Show is on deck here in 15 minutes. There is someone in sports we already hear a lot from that we're about to hear even more from, Ramon. And that is the $60 million man, Pat McAfee.
Yeah, buddy.
This morning, ESPN announcing their game day programming, their Monday night programming around the National Football League, and Pat McAfee is going to be on Monday Night Countdown.
Yeah, when they give you that type of bag, you can't just go get it and go home.
It's going to be him, the Savannah Bananas, Jason Kelsey, and a bunch of TikTokers, actually. That's the new business model.
I know I'm very pro O-line, but why is the Jason Kelsey slander a thing?
Because he's overexposed.
Is he? He just got started.
I know.
I didn't realize Kelsey had already hit the hate spectrum.
I think part of that is Taylor Swift fatigue for people who are tired of the whole Kelsey Taylor Swift thing. I think part of it is the podcast that you can't escape on social media. And look, I like Jason Kelsey too. I have nothing against Jason Kelsey, but like the fact that he's at the Masters and the Masters feels like they got to bring him out there. The fact that he's at like the U.S. Amateur Golf Tournament, like there's just so many different things. We're like, oh, let's just throw Jason Kelsey in there. That'll be fun. It's like, whoa. The guy needs to sleep and eat and breathe sometimes.
Why didn't we get rid of Stephen A. Smith sooner then?
Well, that's a great question as well.
Because
it's not just him.
Yeah, he was everywhere himself. I'm looking at, like, Kelsey to me is harmless.
It's because people watch.
He's got no dumb takes. He's just there for vibes and a good time. Like, he's not doing the Pat McAfee thing to me.
Yep.
I cannot. And again, I'm pro lineman. He ain't even saying that much.
Well, Pat is unsurprisingly going to be on Monday Night Countdown. He will join Scott Van Pelt, Jason Kelsey, Marcus Spears, and Jason McCourty on the show. McCourty replaces Ryan Clark.
Spears survived. Wow.
So the McAfee move, according to The Athletic, he was in the midst of a contract extension talk for a deal that would pay him $60 to $65 million per year and could include a bigger role in the network's NFL coverage. So that's happening. And Monday Night Football and the NFL's broadcast rights, obviously ESPN's biggest broadcast property. So the Monday Night pregame crew, that's them. And then the production team includes Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, Laura Rutledge, and then the Manning cast. ESPN also announced that Jason Kelsey will make his debut as a game analyst, teaming up with play-by-play voice Dave Pasch and analyst Kurt Warner for NFL Network.
Solid.
I like Dave Pasch a lot.
Yeah, I met
like
Warner
Kurt Warner a lot
last
too.
week too, man. He was here at practice, dog.
Oh, was he really? That's
myself.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Dave Pasch was the voice of the Cardinals, now full-time at ESPN and NFL Network, and obviously ESPN and NFL Network being under the same umbrella. ESPN now booking the talent for NFL Network. So it's Dave Pasch, Kurt Warner, and Jason Kelsey at NFL Network's team. Bob Wischusen and Louis Riddick will be the NFL Network's other game broadcast team. And Molly McGrath will be the sideline reporter for both teams. I think Molly does a great job, too.
Yeah, Molly does,
all those
too.
People do a great job.
SVP does. Scott Van Pelt. I can't have enough of him.
Scott is Scott the most universally liked person in sports media right now?
Yes, he is.
I think he is, too.
Scott Van Pelt,
Jim Nantz.
I would say Swagoo. Marcus Spears, I think, is in that conversation.
Sure. I've not met anybody who ever is like, I have too much Marcus Spears.
I thought
it was Jason Kelsey at first, but he's doing so much now that I think there's a little bit of fatigue. That's not his fault.
It's crazy.
And he's just getting paid. Like, what do you want him to do? Say no?
So how quickly, I guess, Will, on the journalistic and entertainment, sports entertainment side, how quickly is your cycle? Because here's the thing about, I honestly thought Pat McAfee was just getting started. Like, we're at the back end of Lee Corso of game day, and, like, he's in a position where, like, you need that character. I just didn't realize, like, his clock was already running out.
Yeah, I think some of the Pat McAfee fatigue is just the way that he carries himself, to be honest with you. Like, the way he kind of goes after people that maybe aren't the biggest fans.
Pat, though. Like, I like what Pat's entertainment value was.
He is a divisive personality in sports. Very divisive. And he's a punter. I think that's also part of it. Like, if he had the same talk but had played quarterback, I think it'd be a little bit different. It's the fact that he was a punter and acts the way that he does. And again, like, I don't have a huge issue with Pat. Like, to each your own. I do think we have too much of Pat, though. I don't
That's
need Pat
real.
McAfee doing everything.
I ain't saying one way or the other. I'm shocked. I'm just shocked that it got here so quickly. It's my only part of it. Like on College Game Day with he, Corso, and Saban together, chef's kiss, amazing. I think Herbstreit can be a little, button up, and Pat brings the balance. Like if you kept him on Game Day in his show, maybe. But like I guess I can see the daytime ESPN component of it, and he's also he's on this podcast for a very long time on the network.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the clock was that low on him.
It is. I mean, and to be fair, too, you can, if you look hard enough, you can always find criticism and people that'll say something bad about a media personality because it's like when we go to a restaurant, we don't tell the waiter that we loved our food. We're more likely to tell them we didn't like it, when there's an issue. So, obviously, you can find negativity anywhere you want, they are spreading Pat McAfee really thin. For $60 million, though, you better be spreading him pretty thin. You got a lot to spread out.
I just wonder what's the next wave after Pat. Each one of these groups that they've had have been like a 5-year run.
It may be somebody's still in the league right now. Who knows? Did you see yesterday what happened with Pat, though, at the beginning of his show?
I didn't get a chance to
ESPN went from a very somber segment honoring the founder of ESPN who had passed yesterday. And in the middle of he was a pioneer, and he will be. Welcome, beautiful people, to this Tuesday.
Really?
Here on the show. Can we play? I know Buck and Lucas and Robert played it yesterday. Buck Rising Show played it yesterday. Can we find that real quick, Justin, so Ramon can hear it? Because he's not heard this yet. Did you see this on social media yesterday?
I missed
I'll work on it.
I might have to go find it.
It's a super quick clip, so we won't take too much time to do it. But it's about 30 seconds. But it's first take transitioning into the Pat McAfee show, like mid-sentence, of them honoring a deceased ESPN executive.
The founder, and they went quickly on
Bill
him
Rasmussen,
like that?
I believe his name. Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Let me know when you've got it, Justin. Or you can just go ahead and play it. If it takes too long, we don't have to, I guess. We can get Buck and them.
Because it's a nice 87 degrees out here right now with
Very
low
nice day.
humidity, baby.
Bill Rasmussen, ESPN's co-founder, passed away. This was the end of First Take into Pat McAfee yesterday.
Wake up early to try to catch it on the news. So now we got sports all day, every day.
His legacy lives on.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, DraftKings Thunderdome, on this Big Ball Tuesday, August 18th.
Big Ball Tuesday. Yep. Big Ball Tuesday.
For the man that founded the
And that'll do
company, if I'm his family, I'm throwing tomatoes at the building.
Back at it tomorrow morning in studio. The Buck Rising Show with live commentary of practice is next.
Hey, but remember, good people, your Twitter fingers and your mic in preseason games are always hot.